Quick shout out there to Alanis Morissette. Yeah. Everybody's like, why is he saying that? Anyway.
It's not fair, is it?
Yes, everybody, and welcome to High on Homegrown, the cannabis podcast from Percy'sGrowroom.com. I am Macky from the UK, and joining us this week, we have Billy Bonds.
Hello from Cornwall, and Cornwall's just dark this time. It's not too cold, so it's been a little cold, but it's not too cold. So we're reasonable for this time of the year.
Beautiful.
No storms or nothing. Just
nice new microphone for Billy there as well, so he's going to sound smoother. Maybe a little quiet. Can you turn it up a bit, Billy, do you think? Or
and
get closer to it?
Hash as well.
Yeah,
some hash as well.
Beautiful. And while you're here talking about hash, do you want to tell everybody about what's coming up? Do you want to reveal it now?
Yeah, I'm going to do a High on Hash Club, where everyone just comes for an hour as like a hash club and sit there and smoke hash.
Beautiful.
Look at pictures of hash and shit like that, but just generally just sit there and chat shit
nice.
About hash.
Sounds like a good plan. And when's that going to be?
That's going to be the last Saturday of every month, starting from next week. But that's only for high and homegrown patrons, just as a test run. But everyone else will be February.
I hear you're going to have a special guest on that first episode as well.
Am I? I don't know. Probably. I might have a couple of guests. Yeah.
All right. Maybe. Do you know who?
No.
All right. I'm going to leave it as a spoiler. Okay. No, I don't know. I've got something in my calendar, but I'm not sure what it is,
Okay.
Anyway, how are you, Margaret?
Is that what you're saying? I'm doing very well. I'm from Ontario. It's cold, but it's not that dark yet. But it will be. It will be. The darkness descends as we do this show. But it's been a busy day at the bird feeder today, so that's been pretty exciting.
Oh, cool.
For any of you who are into birds.
Yeah, man. Do you get crazy? Well, I say crazy birds, but I wonder what species you have that differ from us.
Oh, I'm sure there's tons. I actually had 2 birds added to my life list today. I highly recommend the Merlin bird app if you can find that online.
Nice.
It is free to use, developed by Cornell University for all you budding ornithologists out there.
For all you budding ornithologists listening to the show right now,
I'm like really deep into the birding era now.
That's cool, man. That's cool. It's nice to have
a few of the lads out there into birds.
What's that?
I reckon some of the lads out there are probably into birds and ornithology, innit? That's what you said.
Yeah, that's what she said. Yeah, sure, Billy. Yeah. Sure. Jesus. But anyway, we're going to talk about some cannabis news, as we do every Sunday. And for the Grow Guides, we're talking about cannabis slang and terminology. We have 50 different meanings of things lined up to talk about. But if you have any good ones as well, drop them in the chat later on. And we'll read some of those out as well. So it's going to be a fun episode. Let's talk about some of these news articles that we're going to be covering. Usually we don't step outside of the cannabis news realm. We try and keep it to cannabis news. But, something big is happening in the world right now. The TikTok is being shut down, has been shut down, and is now back up. I don't know. It's all up in the air right now. But yeah, we're going to discuss this TikTok ban and what it means for anybody using TikTok and cannabis and all that stuff. We'll discuss that. Then we have some crazy story from the UK where it says, I break the law to buy my child's life-saving cannabis drug, from the BBC. You can tell by the title and how that's worded. It's from the BBC, dickheads. But yeah, so just a simple question, and let us know in the comments and in the chat. If you had to break the law to get your child life-saving medicine, would you do it? Would you do it? I would like to say how, to the extent I would go of breaking the law to make sure that my child had what they need, but we don't need any more flags, do we? We also have scientists show for the first time that risk of psychotic disorder appears to decline. You hear that? Yeah. I know, right? Oh, what a turn of the tables. So find out what we're talking about in a little bit when we get to that news article. As I said, we're talking about the TikTok ban. And we have cannabis rescheduling hearing delayed amid escalation of tensions between the DEA and other witnesses. That one's coming from Billy. And we also have another one from the UK saying UK CBD business sues government over £3.4 million. That's pound sterling, not in weight. Over unlawful seizure of hemp. Nice. Well, not nice. It's shit for them, but this is going to make for an interesting story as well to see what they think they are going to be capable of when they take the UK government to court. Because I know it all seems a little bit crooked nowadays. If I do say so myself, allegedly. You know what I mean? Yeah, so some cool stories to get to there. And we'll do that in a little bit. But first, what are we smoking on this week? What have you got, Billy?
I've got something quite nice because I'm smoking some cheese from like the High Craft Organics or Chilbert out there, and it's quite cheesy McCheese. So yeah, it's nice. Yep.
So High Craft Organics, is that Chilbert's thing, is it?
Yeah, and some hash too. So
cool.
It's real good. Together, it's even better. So, but yeah, the cheese is quite cheesy. So I'm enjoying the cheesy thing. Because I was ill, I wasn't able to smoke any of it over Christmas.
Oh, so you're making up for it now? You're making up for last time?
Yeah, basically. That's what we're doing now.
Sweet, man. So wait, what's Margaret got this week?
Got a little, well, I got edibles, of course, but I do have a little Jack Hare that I like to mix with a little CBD just to give myself a ratio. So I have that loaded up to go as well.
Beautiful. That sounds like I got some SOS weed in the mitre here. Already hit a piece of that. And it reminds me with Margaret saying edibles there. Last week, if you remember, if you listened to last week's show, I mentioned how the missus was downstairs making some MCT oil. So yes, right. So that all went well. The next day, after it all cooled down and hardened back into its solid form, it was a little bit dark. So it was like, ooh, let's filter it one more time using coffee filters. And we spent the rest of the whole day, I'm not even exaggerating, the whole motherfucking day, man, from like 10 o'clock in the morning till midnight. We're there just filtering this MCT oil through fucking coffee filters. Oh my God, drip, 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 drip in numerous jars. And it took so long, but it made it cleaner and it looked nice when it was done. So you've got a fat jar of that. Then the next day we went to make the Laffy Taffy. Twisted calls it, but we just got Frutella. We got red Frutella, which is the kind of sweet we have here in the UK, like Chewits, like Starburst. It's similar to that because they was all the same color. We got the red Starburst, but it was like dark red, light red, different fucking colors. I wanted the same one, so we got the Frutella. Going off on a tangent. So yeah, we made those into edible form. We infused them with this MCT oil. I say we, meaning the wife. And well, she did most of it, and I've gone downstairs and she wanted to rest, and she's like, can you take over this for me? So I was like, okay, yeah, what we've got to do, just stir it. So we've got the sweets in the pot and they've been melted down a little, so I just keep stirring and stirring. It goes to liquid form. Maybe it got burned a little bit, I don't know, right? But it just didn't seem to be going the way it's supposed to go according to the guides. Anyway, she poured this stuff out, let it cool down, and then when I tried it, the initial taste was like, oh, this is nice, strawberry, but it's more like I don't know, it was brittle rather than chewy like it's supposed to be. I think I just boiled it for too long. Well, anyway, the taste was good initially, but the aftertaste, oh my God, it was fucking dire. I must have burned the sugar from boiling it too fucking much. It was so bad, so bad. Oh God, it was so bitter.
You know what I did today? I'm like, I gotta make a video on like making hard candies, and I fucked it up. So I and then I tried it again, and I fucked it up a second time. So it happens to the best.
Oh man, it was so the whole I just threw it all in the bin, like a whole fucking batch. But it's okay because I got plenty more. And then, right, everybody, you ready for this? The missus was like, let me do it. So this time I couldn't get involved, so she just did it all on herself. Fucking perfect. These things were incredible. They're not too strong.
Thermometer?
Sorry?
So it was you as the missing ingredient there.
Yeah. Well, that was the ingredient that needed to be taken out of the situation.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's why they went good, because you was missing.
But don't have any thermometer or anything like that to use. I think she just, because I left it on there and kept stirring on a low heat.
Told you where to stick it if you come to use a thermometer.
It got brittle too because it got too hot.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. Yeah. And she said, because I was like, how did you make it so different? Why is yours so different to mine? And she's like, well, I just like take it off the heat when it's getting too warm and stir it for a bit and then add a bit more heat when I need to. It's like, damn, she's a professional. But yeah, man, they were good. They're not too strong or anything. So they were pretty good,
well, that's
man.
good. I'm glad they ended up working out in the end. But this
And
is a reminder, if you're ever experimenting with a new recipe with an infusion, to maybe leave out the infusion the first time around, which I did today, thank God, because I fucked up 2 batches, and that was.
Well, it doesn't really matter. Well, it does matter if you're low on cannabis, but we made so much MCT oil. It's like, it didn't really mind missing out on a bit. You know, it's experimental, so we don't mind so much. But yes, everybody, if you're going to go make some edibles, make sure you head over to Margaret's website, bitemepodcast.com. Make sure you signed up. Yeah, man, and learn how to make edibles properly. But yeah, good shit. I enjoyed it. Well, with that, is there anything to add here before we move on to the news? I think that's everything, right?
Yeah, man. That's everything. I think so. Right. Yeah, ready to go.
Let's do it. Let's talk about TikTok and stuff. Let's go to the news. So, before we move on to the main section with the cannabis news, I just wanted to discuss this TikTok ban, read out an article so we can all be informed of what's going on and find out from the people in the chat as well. Like, do you use TikTok? Are you bothered about the ban? Is it an issue for you? This is gonna make sound. Hold on. There we go. Sorry, everybody. Just wanted to check on the poll, and they have to come to the YouTube page for that, and the video's playing. Anyway, yeah, this poll here, it said the 49% of the listeners right now, out of 47 votes, say, I don't care. I don't use it. So that's it's not like I don't care. I don't use TikTok, but I still think it's important. You know, it sets a dangerous precedent as far as I'm concerned. What are your thoughts on the US TikTok ban? The first option is it's good. TikTok is a threat. The second option is banning TikTok is a bad move. The third option is I'm not sure. It's complicated. And the fourth option is I don't care. I don't use it. And that is way in the lead right now with 49% of the votes. Yeah, so let's move on to that article then and get into some more detail with this, find out what's going on. This is all yours, Margaret, right?
Yes, and this article comes to us from the BBC. Will TikTok come back? What to know after U.S. Supreme Court decision. TikTok has stopped working in the U.S. after the Supreme Court denied a last-ditch legal bid from its Chinese owner ByteDance to challenge a new law banning the platform. The U.S. court found the law did not violate the First Amendment rights of TikTok and its 170 million users in the U.S., as the companies had argued. Yes, 170 million U.S. users alone. Ahead of the ban coming into effect on Sunday, the app went offline with a message to U.S. users saying that they can't use TikTok for now. What will the decision of the country's highest judicial authority actually stop Americans using it for good? The White House says, given the sheer fact of timing, the process of implementing the law will indeed fall to Trump, who will be sworn in on Monday, the day after the ban comes into effect. President-elect Trump has indicated that he will offer TikTok a lifeline. So what happens now? Can Trump overturn the ban? On Sunday, Trump took to social media, not TikTok, but probably Truth Social.
No, probably TikTok as well.
Well, he can't be on it because it's banned. So
it's banned for normal people. It's not banned for Trump, probably, right? And if you use a VPN, then maybe you can get around it. I don't know. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. But he said that he intended to postpone the ban through an executive order. His order, he says, would give the company time to find a U.S. partner and buy a 50% stake in the company. Quote, I would like the United States to have a 50% ownership position in a joint venture. By doing this, we save TikTok, keep it in good hands.
Yeah, maybe, you know what I mean?
Lots of thoughts about that. And allow it to stay up. Without U.S. approval, there is no TikTok. With our approval, it's worth hundreds of billions of dollars, maybe trillions, he said in his post. The day before, Trump had told CNN he could delay the law from coming into force for up to 90 days. The platform seemed to be counting on his intentions. Hours before the new law banning TikTok came into effect, the app stopped working for U.S. users. We are fortunate that President Trump has indicated he will work with us on a solution to reinstate TikTok once he takes office, a message displayed to users said. On Friday, just before the court released its ruling, Trump said he spoke to Chinese President Xi Jinping about TikTok, as well as issues around trade. Quote, it is my experience that we will solve many problems together and starting immediately, he posted on social media. Trump's incoming national security advised Mike Advised. This is not good grammar.
Oh yeah.
Advisor.
No,
Mike
incoming
Waltz.
national security advised Mike Waltz told. Oh yeah, so
Well,
he's supposed to be advisor. Wow.
yeah. BBC.
BBC, you pile of shit.
Advisor Mike Waltz, or advisor Mike Waltz, told Fox News on Thursday that the president-elect was looking for ways to preserve TikTok, saying Americans' access to the platform and their data would be preserved. I don't want to get ahead of our executive orders, but we are going to create this space to put that deal in place, said Mr. Waltz. The Biden administration has made clear they will not enforce the law, so another option would be for Trump to follow suit and allow the law to stand, but tell the Department of Justice to ignore it. The government would be effectively telling Apple and Google that they will not be punished for continuing to allow people to download TikTok onto their devices, meaning the law will remain in place, but would essentially be redundant. Obviously, the firms might be uncomfortable about breaking the law, even if they have been told that doing so is fine, as it would be effectively requiring them to take the president's word for it, that they will not be facing punishment. It goes on for a little bit more, but update, TikTok is back for
Yeah,
those
apparently,
US
yeah, I've seen.
people.
Just
But
warming them up. That's what it is. Just warming them up before tomorrow.
it's so fucked up because I'm pretty sure Trump had something to do with the ban and introducing the ban in the first place. And now he's saying that it will only run if 50% of it is sold to an American company, which probably will effectively ruin what is special about TikTok in the first place. I should also note that once the ban was introduced, that instead of going back to Meta, many American users went to an app called Rednote. I don't know if you've heard
Oh,
about
right,
this
yeah.
one.
But that's Chinese too, right?
It's owned by the Chinese Communist Party. The users are basically like, fuck you, US. We're not gonna tolerate that, I guess. And it's been really interesting. It's been the number one free app in the App Store in
Yeah.
Canada and in the States. So a lot of
These things
people are
happen
checking
and
it out.
these random fucking social networks pop up, last for a couple of weeks, and then just go back into the shadows because nobody uses them. It happened with X recently. You know, they were calling it the other place, like it was some secretive place. You can't talk about this blue sky. So loads of people left X to go to blue sky, and then yeah, the majority. There's still going to be 10% of those people over there, but 90% have gone back to X because you know that's where people are, man.
Rednote's been around for a while though. It's not a new app.
Yeah, it's not massively popular. It's not like the top social networks, you know, like
No,
Facebook,
not at all,
X,
because it's
Instagram.
but
You know.
China doesn't have Facebook and X because that's who also bans apps and websites
Mm-hmm.
is like communist China.
Yeah, you know,
So
it's not Chinese. They're not in control of it. They have a different one. I can't remember what the name is for it. They have one site that covers everything. This is the intention of what Elon Musk wants to turn X into. Is an app that has everything: buying, selling, and exchanging money, cryptocurrencies. All of this stuff gets done.
yeah,
What's that? What's the name of the website, everybody? Anybody can get that in the chat. What's the name of
the
that website?
WeChat.
WeChat. That's the one. That's the one, Margaret.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like
So.
their WhatsApp, only it's way more has a lot more functionality to it, I guess, than we
And
would
apparently
here.
that's what
But
Musk is going for. But it's
right,
interesting to see TikTok get banned because there's so many people in the US, like content creators and what is it, influencers, who are out
yeah,
there, you know, making hefty money. You
yeah,
know.
there's a lot of people in the States who are making hefty money, and so a lot of Americans are pissed because they're like, well, there goes my business.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to make money in the US right now if you're a plebe, so
Yeah.
or anywhere else to be honest, but the billionaires are taking over.
So you use what the fuck is
I
this
love
like
TikTok,
TikTok? You
honestly.
use
My
TikTok, yeah?
sister was on it for like when it first started here, and I resisted for a long time, and then when I got on it, I was like, fuck me, I should have done this way sooner.
All right.
It's so good. And the conversations that people have over there are like really interesting if you like get into your algorithm and stuff. It was very different. But now I feel like if it gets 50% sold to some American company, like maybe Meta, it's just going to go to shit
Yeah.
because they're going
Yeah.
to censor like all the stuff that people were talking about. That's why they're threatened by it because people are
Mm-hmm.
talking about shit that challenges the narrative right
The
now.
narrative, you know,
Right.
you can't question narrative now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't use TikTok. I don't. It's just their terms and conditions frighten me. But when you even look at the social networks that I already use, like Instagram and Facebook and X, you look at the
Yeah.
terms and conditions. It's pretty much the same shit. You know, they just the
It
way they use
is, and that's
the.
what's so maddening about this ban because like I recently deleted Facebook Messenger because I saw some videos from some IT people that talked about how much data they mined using Messenger. Like if you go into, say, your workplace and you're connected to the Wi-Fi, it sends back information to Messenger about every single phone on that Wi-Fi network. Every single phone. So if you work with 50 people and you're all connected to that Wi-Fi network, then it's sending back information to Meta about all the users and with a lot of detail.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck that.
Makes you wonder what kind of information the government has on us. And this is like all of our governments, plus the Chinese government. You know what I mean? So what information do they have on us?
Yeah. And they're just selling that shit to data brokers so that you can get, I don't know, spam text messages and
yeah, man.
That kind of thing. So
scary. So let us know in the chat what you think, everybody. You think this TikTok ban is crazy? Is it a good thing? You know, are you on TikTok? Let us know what your thoughts are on this. What do you think, Billy? You haven't said much about this. What do you think about banning TikTok? There's no reply from Billy.
He's distraught.
Where is he? Billy? Hello, Billy? Is he in the chat? He's still here in the Zoom. Billy, you're on mute, man. You're on mute, Billy.
Sorry, mate. I just had to go and do something outside quickly. But,
oh, cool.
Yeah, I think it's quite mad that TikTok's been banned because of free speech and all that. But you know what this regime's like, trying to write stupid laws. It's like playing politics as well, so it's just weird.
It is
but yeah,
weird
because everyone just moves somewhere else is like, it's just silly.
Right.
It just negates what I think America stands for in a way.
A lot of people would move to Meta, like back to Instagram or Facebook or X or whatever, and then a lot of them were just like no, and they went to Red Note instead, which I thought was hilarious. It was so funny.
Yeah, interesting. But regardless, you know, it's all these social networks. They don't like cannabis content anyway, so fuck them. They want to stand. They don't want to stand up for us. We want to stand up for them. You know what I'm saying? Fuck Instagram. Fuck WeChat. Whatever the fuck this is. You know.
Yeah. Meta. Zuckerberg.
Sounding like a proper old man. I don't even know the name of the shit. You know? Yeah, never interested me. I do like my Instagram reels though. Yeah, and it's like, what is the difference like between TikTok and Instagram? It can't be that much different,
right? The shit on Instagram reels comes from TikTok in the first place, and usually they're about a month behind. I would say that.
TikTok's mostly video as well now than anything. There's a lot of like actual like some educational and clothes shopping stuff, and it's more of a sales place as well. Instagram is just more of literally just pictures and advertising for other stuff, really. But like TikTok's, it's more interactive with their chat features and shit like that.
Right.
Yeah.
No, don't make me want to try it. I'm not going to try it. I'm not going to. You're making me want to like. Let's go have a look.
So it has a live chat feature in it, so that makes it a lot better.
Yeah, they do have live stuff in there too.
It's interactive, so that's what it is. It's more interactive.
That's right. Well, it's not banned in the UK, so I can still use it for now.
No, it was kind of interesting for a hot minute this morning because like I opened it up this morning and all the Americans were gone, and it was just like, who's left? Hello, and it was like, well, the rest of the world. Was like,
so I mean, like, everyone else can use it, but like they can't. That's just fucking stupid, isn't it? On them. Yeah.
You know how I feel about like government and establishment and things like that. I do not trust them whatsoever.
Allegedly.
And they are only banning TikTok because they have some kind of agenda to ban TikTok.
Oh,
allegedly.
That's it. Yeah. And I've seen some rant over on X. This woman, she went off on a beautiful fucking rant. She was like, all the government, the Republicans, the Democrats, left and right, they've all come together and worked as a force to deal with TikTok the way that they have, which we've never seen them do before. And California's on fire. There's places with floods. You know, we've got healthcare problems. We've got these problems going on in schools.
Yeah.
You know, so many issues.
And they're worried about TikTok. Like,
yeah.
Head a shake, but
that's right, man.
Somehow they come together because they didn't like people talking about Luigi. He had an awful lot of TikTok, and that stuff did get suppressed eventually. But
it's crazy, isn't it?
And infrastructure crumbles, and they just think about let's ban TikTok, let's blame that.
And realistically, when it comes to when it comes to getting technology, getting data and information from citizens of another country. I think China hasn't got other ways. I think the only way they can get this information is via TikTok. Come on.
They're probably just buying it from data brokers that it got sold to from Meta.
Or just hacking it.
So like,
they don't need to buy it. They just have somebody hack it.
Everyone's live streaming it anyway, man. What's the need to fucking? What's the need to hack? Just fucking have an account that's downloading that straight away, mate. Innit?
Yeah, interesting, man.
Log on, download.
We're gonna have to.
Done.
Sorry, Margaret.
I was just gonna say, you know what won't steal your data and sell it to the highest bidder?
Scrogging.com. The what? Sorry.
The Merlin Bird app. Just download it.
Just another word from our sponsor.
What's that?
Just another word from our sponsor.
Yeah, this is an unsponsored promotion, but I added 2 birds to my life list today. It was very exciting. You can collect birds like Pokemons.
That's cool. That's cool. Nice. We'll bring that up again a little bit later for those who are interested in it.
Yeah.
But let's talk about another one. Let's move on from this TikTok article. We spent a lot of time on that, but it's an interesting topic, man. It's a shame it's not cannabis related. Otherwise, we'll talk about it for even longer. Just interesting to see what's going to happen here. Well, Billy, you want to talk about the cannabis rescheduling hearing? You want to do that one?
Yeah. Sounded interesting. So, like, the cannabis rescheduling hearing is delayed amid escalation of tensions between the DEA and other witnesses. So, I thought that was quite interesting headline, so let's dig in a bit more here. So the highly anticipated hearings on cannabis rescheduling, set to begin next week, have now been cancelled in a major escalation of tensions between the Drug Enforcement Agency, the DEA, and other witnesses. So the DEA Chief Administration Law Judge John Mulrooney yesterday ruled that the upcoming hearing was cancelled indefinitely, making room for an appeal to remove the DEA from the process amid increasing allegations of bias.
What?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking was. So you're saying the DEA are biased because they run a lot of drugs themselves or something?
Yeah,
allegedly.
Allegedly. Gosh.
Last week, Business of Cannabis reported that attorneys representing Village Farms Hemp for Victory had submitted fresh evidence that suggests that DEA had actively worked against the proposed rule change by using outdated and legally rejected criteria to undermine cannabis medical and scientific value. So amid further allegations that the DEA had conducted inappropriate communications with anti-cannabis groups and had referred to a number of Judge Mulrooney's demands, the companies requested that Mulrooney allow them to file an appeal to the administrator should no action be taken. So, while the judge rejected calls to remove the DEA and prominent of the rescheduling proposal, he strongly criticised the agency's actions. So he described their handling of the procedural rules as puzzling and grotesque, and highlighted their failure to comply with directives, including a refusal to submit hard copies of the public comments as evidence. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So so they're essentially saying here that we don't want the DEA involved in this process anymore because they're biased and corrupt. That's dodgy, isn't it? Wow.
Yeah. The judge also acknowledged that serious concerns about allegations that the DEA officials collaborated with anti-rescheduling witnesses, describing the revelations as disturbing and embarrassing. However, he stated that these issues, even if sustained, would not justify removing the DA from the process due to statutory limitations on his authority. So, as such, while the DA have not been removed, Mulrooney granted calls for an appeal to take place because he believes it could take resolve to key issues now rather than later to avoid greater delays, costs and unfairness in the cannabis rescheduling process. So specifically, the judge acknowledged that the pro-reform participants raised serious concerns about how the DEA had handled witness selection and communications, which could impact the fairness and outcome of the hearings. So furthermore, he acknowledged the change in leadership of the DEA due to the incoming administration adds uncertainty as to the rescheduling process, which could further impact the timeline decision making. So, as a new administrator may have a different approach to the cannabis policy, This factor contributed to the decision to allow time for an appeal to avoid potentially wasting resources proceedings be affected by the leadership change. So basically knew all the governments were changing over. And it's like, well, if I do this, instead of proceeding with it, which could maybe take 18 months because the DA just drag it out, they could just, everything could change because this has gone nowhere at the minute. So they're hoping for administration change and changing their mind. Just basically saying, telling the DA to fuck off themselves, sort of thing. Higher orders as such.
Yeah.
The hearings today follows a serious procedural controversies, including the DA's mishandling of subpoenas and its refusal to clarify its position on the rescheduling proposal. Additionally, excluded parties, including veterans organisations and cannabis researchers, have petitioned federal courts, arguing their exclusion undermines the fairness of the process, which of course it does. Like, you're not allowed to commit evidence. It's like, fuck off, man. So the judge has ordered updates of every 90 days on the status of the interlocutory appeal.
Nice.
Called.
I mean, there's people who want to make serious moves to federally legalize cannabis if they're saying the DAA needs to get the fuck out of this whole conversation here because they're biased and they're just holding us back and making a case for it like this as well.
Are they handling this rescheduling process? Is that what it sounds like?
But I think they're going to be part of it maybe, and they are just not allowing people to come in and have they want it to be one-sided. You know, they want people who are anti-cannabis having their say, but not people who are pro-cannabis because they have a biased and they want to try and keep it legal.
And they don't want to have cannabis researchers involved. Like fuck you.
Yeah,
I think they're in the preliminary things, like they're arguing about what can and can't be evidence, and the DEA apparently seem to be like putting in shit evidence or no evidence or blocking evidence what can be evidence.
That's fucked, man.
So now that we and like challenging shit, if you know what I mean,
it's not the fact. If that's the case, right? If they are interfering with the process like that, not only, in my opinion, not only should they be removed from the case, but they need to get whoever the fuck has done that and said mess with these trials, mess with this court service here. They need to be fucking arrested for that shit. You're not being honest. You are paid by the taxpayer to do your job on the better of them. And if you're going to not do it properly and purposely alter things so studies don't get done properly, then you need to be fucking prosecuted for interfering with the process.
It starts with for the people, and like the by the people is meant to be him, the person who's meant to be doing it, if you know what I mean. You're doing it for the people. You ain't doing it for yourself or for your own gain or it's the society you know joined. I mean? Like, it's the society you do it for is your fellow man and an American and the country. It's for the people. You know what I mean?
Like, if they've asked for these specific tests to be done or these specific people to be added to the trial, you say, yes, no problem, sir. I will make that happen right now. Not try and prevent it from happening. Crazy.
I'll do my best to collect all the fucking evidence, sir.
But, you know, if you want to sit there and say the DEA is corrupt, people will be like, nah, you're a conspiracy theorist. Well, of course not. Of course not. Let's not get any more flags. Allegedly. What do you think about this, Margaret?
Wild. Not surprising, though, in some ways.
She don't want to be swinging from a Clinton tree tomorrow. She's keeping quiet.
She's pleading the fifth.
What?
Yeah, I asked you what you think of it. You didn't, like, you kind of avoided the question altogether. I think you just missed me asking it. But what do you think about all this?
Oh, maybe I did. Oh, it's bullshit. It's ridiculous. I mean, as usual, I feel like it's TikTok bans and DA, like, fucking around. Like, it's just...
Careful now, Margaret. We have flags already. We don't need more. Careful now.
What kind of world are we living in? I don't understand.
Say it with me. Totalitarianism.
I know. They're part of like the DEA.
Allegedly.
Part of the ruling class that are just like, we're going to do whatever we want and we don't care.
It's crazy. And you can't do anything about it.
That's what they want you to believe.
That's right. That's right. We can. We're just not pissed off enough yet.
People.
But yeah, man, it's good to see that they're being pulled out on it, though. I think, you know, being called out and being told if you don't fucking play properly, then you've got to go. That's good.
That is encouraging.
At least that's it. There's still two sides of it out there, and there's still some good guys who haven't been bought off yet. You know, they didn't get their envelope yet.
But it's sad because I mean I'm happy to hear that this judge decided to do that, but it's been canceled indefinitely now.
Wow.
What
But there was
what I like
appeal in
is
that though, weren't they?
he understands the law and the process of it, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean, and due process, and he knew how to sort of just like fuck this out of it in a way, just to like, no, these are just fuck this is stupid, like this is biased, this isn't correct. So like, yeah, made a correct judgment, which is what they're meant to do, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
That's done his actual job. It's very rare, like you think, oh, someone actually done their job and for the people. That was for the people. That decision that judge made.
Right.
So
That was a DEA Chief Administrative Law Judge John Mulrooney as well. So I guess he was
yes,
DEA judge, but thankfully somebody still likes to see some due process and some fairness in these.
yeah, basically, yeah, and that's all he done was just like stating that this is process and isn't due process and isn't correct. You should not be involved.
Yeah.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here. Like,
Yeah. So
yeah, which is what correct standing to their actual constitution and for the people by the people sort of thing, and the correct evidence to be approached. If you know what I mean.
Anyway, interesting story.
Where it should be. Yeah. Good
Let's
stuff.
see what happens from here. And of course, if there's any advances on this, we'll let you know on a future episode of the news there, everybody. But speaking of corrupt governments and things, allegedly, we have a story from the UK.
Oh, there's going to be no corruption here.
No corruption here. God, no. We are Englishmen.
We're in the UK.
Gentlemen.
Definitely not.
Right, so this is on the BBC again, so you know I'd like to just make you all aware of that, so you can grab a pinch of salt if you need to. It is recommended. Here we go. I break the law to buy my child's life-saving cannabis drug. And this, in the first place, you know, anybody who is a parent, you would do anything to make sure, especially with life-saving medication, you would do anything to make sure that your kid had the fucking medicine that they need, regardless of whether it's against the law or not. You know, there's crazy levels parents would go through to make sure that their kids have what they need, man. We all know that. And there's lots of parents out there in the UK right now who have children who suffer with certain conditions. It could be intractable epilepsy. What other ones is the fucking... you know, there's so many different things cannabis helps for, but mainly one of them is the intractable epilepsy. And kids have these epilepsy fits 100 times a day sometimes. And they use cannabis as a medicine, and it's clearly helped them, but they still can't get the medicine on the NHS. They have to pay this ridiculous amount of money for it. So these guys, they have to find different ways to make money to pay for their kids' medicine. Let's get into the story a little more here. Until recently, Jane would have described her family as normal, law-abiding citizens. But that changed last summer when the full-time mum started illegally buying cannabis oil online for her daughter, Annie. Now, just to add here, illegally buying cannabis online for her daughter, Annie. Now, this is legal in the UK. You can buy it pretty much online by going through the correct procedures, and you can get it from the pharmaceutical companies here in the UK, but you can't buy it from anybody else because they'll be like, oh no, that's illegal. That isn't medical cannabis. That's dangerous cannabis. You know, when realistically their cannabis is pretty fucked sometimes as well. But we'll carry on. The 10-year-old has severe rare type of epilepsy resistant to conventional treatments. At her worst, Annie was admitted to hospital 22 times in 22 months. Doctors warned Jane there was a very real prospect of her daughter dying from a seizure. Damn. Imagine being told that about your kid. You'd do anything, right?
Absolutely.
You know, and any parent would. So never mind just, you know, this woman, she's like, yeah, you know, I'm buying cannabis illegally. It's like, yeah, I would do a lot more illegal things than that to get the medicine for my kids. So she's not doing anything wrong by just buying cannabis. Anyway, Jane says she doesn't want to break the law, but the severity of Annie's condition, is such that she doesn't care. We changed their names to protect their identity. Oh, okay. So this isn't their actual names. Annie deserves to be happy. She deserves to have the quality of life, Jane explains. And if I'm breaking the law by giving her this quality of life, am I wrong or is the law wrong? And we all know the answer to that question, don't we? There's that saying, unjust laws, it's our duty to break them, you know, and this is completely unfair, you know. So, yeah, break those fucking laws, man. They shouldn't be there in the first place. The family cannot afford a private prescription, which costs approximately £2,000, 2,000 Great British pounds sterling, each month from one of the many clinics that have been established since the legislation of so-called full-spectrum medical cannabis, which includes the psychoactive ingredient THC, and you can buy this from those pharmaceutical companies online. File on 4 investigates. I think that's a certain TV show. File in 4 investigates has spoken to several parents, including Jane, who are going to extreme lengths to obtain these medical cannabis oils to treat their severely epileptic children, as well as sourcing the drugs illegally online. Some are regularly smuggled into the UK from the Netherlands. It can be bought there legally, but it is illegal to bring it back to the UK without a license. And we've seen Joanne Griffiths, for example, do this to bring medicine back for her kid. She went to the UK, went to the Netherlands from the UK, bought a shitload of cannabis oil and smuggled it back into the country. And, you know, she's got pictures of it doing so, and you know, people know about it. It's not like I'm grassing her up, you know what I mean? I wouldn't say so otherwise. You know, it's something that she did as like a protest, because, you know, her kid needs that medicine. It's life-saving medicine. And it's not even hyperbole. You're not exaggerating anything. Children can legitimately die from having these epileptic seizures. And the best way to stop them, and obviously they have tried everything at this point. That's what intractable epilepsy is where they've tried all of the standard medications, say, which you'll get on the NHS. You know, they've tried all of those. Nothing has worked. And they've tried cannabis, and cannabis legitimately does work. This is why they pay £2,000 a month for it. You know, it's just shocking that they can't get it on the NHS, but you're going to do anything to get that drug for your kid. It's madness. And somebody said in chat, sorry, I can't see your name because it's dark blue. It says File on 4 is a Radio 4 program. Okay, so it's one of the radio stations here in the UK, showing a radio station. Where were we with this? Yeah, so to get the shit in the UK, you need to bring it in with a license, you know, and you have to pay the right people the right money to be able to have privileges like that. Medical cannabis was legalized in the UK in November 2018, following a high-profile campaign, but the full-spectrum medicines which the parents we spoke to are sourcing has not been officially licensed. Both the NHS and private clinics can prescribe medicine that hasn't been licensed, but in the NHS case, it is rare. In the past 6 years, fewer than 5 patients have been prescribed full-spectrum cannabis oil on the NHS. One cannabis-based oil has been licensed for the NHS treatment for epilepsy, but this is based on just the plant's CBD compound, often found in products sold in health food shops. Many families say this drug does not contain all the compounds they believe play a crucial role in preventing seizures, including the psychoactive ingredient THC. And that's the difficult thing for these parents to get THC, you know, because that's
so
still seen as
the
illegal.
NHS is not even selling like full spectrum cannabis extracts then?
Not as far as I know. You can get oil. It must not be full spectrum. Maybe it's like they say here, it's CBD and doesn't have a lot of THC, and when they need a high THC oil for their kid, you know, for the epilepsy treatment. Jane spent 2 years fighting for an NHS prescription for the unlicensed full spectrum medicine. Eventually, a review body turned her daughter down. Unable to get it on the NHS, she now gives Annie 0.4 milligrams of the illicit full spectrum cannabis oil twice a day. It costs her £55 a bottle and is posted by an online supplier significantly cheaper than a private legal prescription. Both Jane and the supplier are breaking the law. But those motherfuckers who said that this child who needs this medicine, they said, no, you can't have it. They're not breaking any laws. They're putting they're putting a child's fucking life at risk.
Yeah.
But they are not breaking any laws. Fucking Jesus.
22 hospital visits in 22 months, and they're like, nah, it's not for you.
Nah. Stop trying to give your kid drugs. What the fuck, man? Oh, my God.
You're like, but it works. And you're going to charge me $2,000 when I can get it for $55 a bottle.
Absolute madness. But, you know, just buying somebody who is freely selling this cannabis oil, nobody's forcing them to, and somebody who is buying it, and they're kind of forced to because it's their kid's medicine, but you know, these are two adults making a transaction between themselves that they're both happy with, but that's breaking the law. But these motherfuckers who tell a child that they can't have life-saving medicine, that's absolutely fine. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this, man? So I won't rant any more than that. Since taking the oil, Jane says Annie's seizures have dramatically reduced. They are a lot less severe and they don't last as long. But this approach is not without risks. Sarah from Dorset, who bought cannabis oil for her severely epileptic 4-year-old daughter, says parents are potentially playing with fire. After deciding to try it on herself first, Sarah says it made her feel very unwell. I thought it was going to pass out. Behave yourself. Sorry, I won't rant, not yet. Sarah has since raised enough money to pay for a legal private prescription for full-spectrum unlicensed cannabis medicine, and she says she has seen big improvements in her daughter's epileptic seizures. But, they're saying you took it, and it made you feel very unwell. My wife has pain medication, this gabapentin and shit. And one time I took one of those. I'm never taking one of those again. You know what I mean? But that stuff's completely legal. That's prescribed. Like, here you go. You can have all. Don't take any more than 10, because you'll be dead. Allegedly. Fuck. But man, it's so upsetting, man. It's so upsetting. Here's Joanne Griffiths on the screen there, everybody. She's been on the show a few times. She's one of the medical cannabis moms here in the UK. Parent support charity Medcan, which campaigns for wider access to medical cannabis, has attempted to quantify how many UK parents are accessing the medicines illegally online. After conducting a review of 3 online forums and interviewing parents, it has counted 382 families involved, which campaigners suggest is the tip of the iceberg. Absolutely. Ellen Gurnard from Hertfordshire flew to Amsterdam 6 times last year to buy full-spectrum cannabis oil for her daughter Fallon. She has a legal prescription with a doctor in the Netherlands, but bringing it back to the UK without license is illegal. Elaine says it is worth the risk. Even after her travel expensive, the cost of the oil is half the price she would pay in the UK. Madness. She says the medication has saved the life of Fallon, who is 30, who is also living with treatment-resistant epilepsy, reducing her seizures from 200 per month to about 8. But, cannabis doesn't work. It don't work. There's no evidence that cannabis works for epilepsy. You're just making things up. Fucking ridiculous, isn't it? Just read just a bit more of this. Anyone who has a child like my daughter that could potentially die from these seizures, as a mother, you go to any length for her, says Elaine. Smuggling the medicines into the UK amounts to international drug trafficking, says solicitor Robert Jabby, one of the country's leading legal experts in the medical cannabis sector. Importation of a Class B drug has fairly hefty prison sentences, he says. In practice, it seems very, very unlikely anyone would be prosecuted, but it's not a risk that these families should be taking, he adds. They should be able to access this medication safely here in the UK. And they might not be prosecuted. That's true, but they might also be prosecuted. It depends what they've posted on Facebook recently. But they they take the medicine off them. Like, they will get this mother who's coming back from the Netherlands with the legally bought substance over there, and they'll be coming into the UK. And I can't remember which of the moms said on the show. I think it might have been Joanne Griffiths, that she's been stopped on the way back in, and she's had the medicines taken off her, confiscated. And she was without it for a while. Maybe it was Emma Appleby. But they was without the medicine for a while, and they had to, go through some procedure and shit. Eventually, they did get it back, but it was a few weeks later. It's absolute piss take. This is life-saving medicine. What if during those few weeks where they didn't have access to this cannabis medicine, their kid had to go back on some random shit, which didn't help? What if, God forbid, as they say, the worst happened during those 2 weeks? Yeah, you can't fucking think. It's just unfathomable, man. Billy, what are you saying about all this? We won't read any more of this article because it's just going to trigger us. You know how fucked it is here in the UK, everybody. But this is messed up, man. And any parent who needs to get cannabis medicine for their child, you do what you have to do. You're not doing anything wrong whatsoever. You've been forced into a position that you should never have been in the first place. So fuck these government motherfuckers trying to tell us what's right and wrong, why they go drop bombs on children over the other side of the fucking world. Fuck them. Get your fucking kids the medicine. Oh, man, it rages me so much. Sorry, Billy, what are you saying, man?
Obviously, they're all fucking complete cunts as well. And to give extra news about this, these licensing cocksuckers denied the doctor who wants to take over in March for like signing like all the prescriptions for the children what are getting the prescription shit. But they've said no, you can't have a license because you're a Canadian cunt, innit? You don't live here. So like, even though you've gone through all the application process, like basically because you live there and you don't really live here, you're no residence as such. Even though you could just buy a little flat or something here, they're just like, nah, bollocks, nah. We don't want you, mate. It's all right, mate.
Yeah.
Don't trust you.
We don't want you interfering with the process.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So like, no, mate, you can't have a license. Just fuck off.
Willing to sacrifice the lives of children so they can make a little bit more
sort of. I've got to the point where I'm more calm over it now because I've had it for so much. It's like, no, I've got to the point as well. It's like I'm not allowed to go and do what I want to do. So it's like,
because just in case people don't know, you know, Billy's girlfriend Caroline has a boy with intractable epilepsy. Caroline Gismore, she's been on the show before, so listen to that interview if you want to know more about that.
She has.
Billy experiences this every day.
For it, so yeah, he had seizures today. So, but we has medicine for it. So, and cannabis is included. So we're lucky it controls him enough as well. So,
damn, bro,
it's just like it's bullshit. It is fucking it's fuckeries. But we ain't gonna again in March. The dude who can sign it, not allowed to sign it anymore. So it's like it's just fucking crazy. Like it's like, and it's the doctors as well not applying as well. It's their fault as well, but it's all of it denying the only doctor that wants to do it just because he's not in the country. It's like, who can do it remotely anyway?
Right, they do have that shit remotely as it is, don't they?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
No, you're not going to. You do it all over the phone. Sometimes even just by email. But yeah, you can't do that. You have to be here in the UK. No, the corruption goes so deep, man. So deep.
It's like,
It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's outrageous, especially when it affects parents with children. Like
that's why you got to keep calm. Otherwise, you just like you're not allowed to go mad in this country because we're not allowed pitchforks no more.
And this slowly it moves us on to the next article here as well. You know, it segues into there because we see here there's so many families in this position where they need this cannabis medicine for their child because it actually works. With the intractable epilepsy. You won't see any studies done on this, regardless of how long these people have been begging for this medicine. You know, they need this shit, but it's still not been given to them because the studies haven't been done. But at the same time, we report every couple of weeks on this show about how cannabis causes psychosis and all this fucking madness. Like, you're doing them studies. You know,
you
do
can
this
see
study.
Anecdotal evidence of like thousands of parents with children with this type of condition and like use that as your study if you have to. Like
it's still anecdotal. They won't have it. It's madness.
It's ridiculous.
Drives you crazy, man. It's so unfair. And they try and tell us we're the criminals. Not listening to them. Fuck them. Anyway, so let's talk about this this one about psychosis again because the tables have turned this week, haven't they, Margaret?
Yeah, they have actually. Interestingly enough, this one comes from King's College of London. Scientists show for the first time that risk of psychotic disorder appears to decline with time following cannabis use cessation. So new research reports that cannabis users' risk of developing psychotic disorders appears to decrease with time once they stop using, well, it says the drug, but we'll say
the drug. I'm going to put echo on that because I said it earlier and it would have been good if there was echo on it. I'm going to put echo. on it so it sounds fucking
drug. Because it's like a plant, but whatever. That's a whole other discussion for another time. So new research from the Institute of Psychiatry, Psychology and Neuroscience at King's College London has reported that cannabis users' risk of developing psychotic disorders appears to decrease with time once they stop using the drug. The research, published in the Canadian Journal of Psychiatry, found that it takes about 37 weeks of cannabis abstinence for a user's risk of developing psychosis to recede to the same levels as of those who have never used it.
Wow.
Where's the horns? Pew, 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 because that's pretty exciting.
I'll edit in post. Don't worry.
Okay. Researchers did, however, identify that frequent users of high-potency strains might maintain an elevated risk even over the course of 181 weeks.
181 weeks? How many? It's like, that's random. 360. It's got to be 6 months, right? 6 months. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. 6 months?
That's, oh, yeah, no.
weeks?
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking days. No, weeks. Fuck, that's a long time. That was, That's like
So I don't know
nearly
if that would
4
be like
years.
high potency. Are you talking
And
about people who might be using frequently using dabs or like just super high potency products, maybe? But
They mean the super skunk, the plus 20% shit
mind
meat. Oh,
altering
yeah.
super skunk.
Mind altering super skunk, exactly.
there is
There
extensive
you go.
research suggesting that cannabis use is associated with an increased risk of the user developing psychosis, as well as poor mental health and sleep. Daily and high potency users facing particularly increased risks. Researchers on this study wanted to establish whether the risk of psychotic disorders in cannabis users changed over time after ceasing use. Using data sourced from the EU GEI case control study, a multi-center study of first episode psychosis patients and population controls across 11 areas in Europe and South America, scientists compared the experiences of 875 FEP patients against 1,230 participants without psychosis. 7 aspects of cannabis use were measured and analyzed. 1, lifetime cannabis use, current cannabis use, age for when they first tried it, duration of cannabis use, frequency, potency of cannabis use, and the time since cessation in weeks. Researchers categorized users according to if and when they had given up cannabis and then assessed the risk of psychosis for each group by analyzing the likelihood of developing psychosis compared to those who had never used cannabis. Their analysis found that the risk of psychosis declines following the cessation of cannabis use, with risk being less for those who have ceased use for longer. Ex-users who had only recently stopped, between 1 and 4 weeks, had nearly a 7-fold increase in the likelihood of developing psychosis compared to never users, which suggests that stopping use of cannabis can precipitate psychosis in some as part of its withdrawal symptom.
No, that's obvious. The people between in the first month or so after you've been smoking weed for a while, and then you quit for a month. For that month, you're arsey, You're not taking any shit from anybody, man. You're not high and you're not happy about it, So it's not like it's cannabis-induced psychosis. It's lack of cannabis-induced psychosis,
Right. Though I guess they're also applying numbers to this kind of stuff because that's probably pretty helpful for the medical establishment if they want to adopt cannabis as a prescription for, I don't know, they just like fucking numbers.
That's right. Yeah.
After 5 to 12 weeks, the risk of psychotic disorders dropped to a 3-fold increase compared to those who had never used cannabis. In contrast to former users who had abstained for a minimum of 37 weeks, there was no difference in risk of psychosis compared to those who had never used the drug. So just a really long ass tolerance break go a long way to help you out if you are at risk of cannabis use disorder like that.
Yeah, man. It's interesting. I mean, this article goes on for a while, doesn't it? It says loads of stuff. Goes on to quote studies and shit.
Yeah, it's interesting
because they say it all the time. Sorry, Margaret.
So it's they're showing that it's not a permanent condition. If you do find you're suffering from cannabis, what are they calling it? Cannabis use disorder?
Cannabis-induced psychosis.
Yeah. So it's like if you are unfortunate enough to have that genetic predisposition, or you're using a ton of weed or something, you can reverse the effects, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And an important thing to learn.
And this is from the King's College London. We read articles like this from the King's College London quite often, I think. We have, right? We've read ones these about psychosis as well from the King's College London. It's just like it's slowly progressing now into them releasing an article. It's like the last 2 have been psychosis from cannabis. Stay away from cannabis, it'll give you psychosis. And now this one's like it'll give you psychosis, but if you stay off it for a while, you'll go back to normal. It's like the evolution of this study we're watching happen over the last few months. Interesting.
Yeah, see, there's a study.
Yeah, but because I suppose it isn't showing the positive side of things, it's showing the negative side, being like, cannabis fucking psychosis. But it would be interesting for them to do a similar study on epilepsy. The problem is with the studies for epilepsy, apparently it's like it's because they have to do it double blind, and they'd have to give children who need epilepsy medication, and this is a daily thing they need, but they have to stop some of them from having the medicine that they need, and it's just it's inhumane to do that. These people need their medicine, So for you to take them away to test whether it works or not, it's just not fucking right.
Yeah, there's like ethical issues.
Yeah. So it's difficult to actually do those studies, which is a problem as well. There's reasons behind it.
That's what fucking gives me psychosis, is that not the fucking cannabis. It stops my psychosis of them doing that.
Absolutely.
It's just pathetic, isn't it? Cunt. No ranting there. Let's move along.
No ranting there. No ranting there. Which one do we have next? Yeah, the interesting story there. It's the UK CBD business sues, right? Yeah, that's the one next, Billy. Your next one?
The CBD one?
Yeah.
So the UK CBD business sues the government for 3.4 million over unlawful seizure of fucking hemp.
Yes. They're starting to fight back.
Fight back, innit? It's like, give me my money, you can't. It's like the UK government is being sued by CBD business for 3.4 million. Not 3.5, 3.4. Let's be correct here, eh, Macky?
Precise. You have to be precise with the cannabis numbers, man. You know?
Sorry. In the latest major challenge to its mishandling of legal hemp. So Ocean Development Dorset Limited and connected retail business CBD Flower Shop Limited are seeking damages from the Home Office amid allegations of unlawful conduct after a shipment of hemp was detained by the UK Border Force. It comes less than a year after Jersey Hemp won a similar landmark case against the UK government, for forcing it to concede acting unlawfully with its seizure of hemp products, but failing to provide a precedent for cases like this to be avoided. So, while this case could help further clarify their regulation, it comes amid reports of a spike in hemp and CBD shipments being temporarily confiscated by authorities. So they're still doing it, only to be released months later when the product has expired. Motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's it, because they take it, keep it. Yeah, they know exactly what they're doing, man. It's absolutely ridiculous. And they should.
Yeah, we've released it, so we can't get done for not releasing it. But it's like, no, it's out of date.
But no, it's all fucked. You know what I mean?
They can't set it.
They should pay, man. They should suffer. I'm glad these people are stepping up and doing something about this. But it continues, doesn't it? Let's see what else they're saying.
So the two businesses owned by, I won't say her name just because they don't want them released, but have filed a lawsuit against the UK government, alleging that Border Force unlawfully seized 10 shipments of legally imported hemp between August the 23rd and May the 24th. So it's like...
No, August 2023 and May 2024.
Yeah,
like
sorry,
8 months or something.
Yeah. So it's like they just imported some hemp over the course of a years of trading sort of thing. Like. The company's told a valid license from Department of Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, DEFRA, to import hemp for use for tea, claiming that Border Force wrongfully classified the shipment as controlled drugs despite the hemp's legal status in the UK law.
Wow.
Which is anything with below a THC standard, which is classed as hemp.
Like 0.3%,
Yeah. So filed in the High Court of Justice, England and Wales under the case number. Like the lawsuit accuses the Home Office of breaching human rights protections and causing significant financial harm. So the claimants argue that these seizures violated their right to peaceful enjoyment of possessions and labelled Border Force classification as hemp as controlled drugs baseless, which it is. So furthermore, they argue that the system designed to tackle the illegal cannabis imports disproportionately impacts the legal CBD and hemp businesses, which it completely does. It's like they're using the law to their own advantage to fuck over these businesses. Like a system in which true hemp is only identified as being legal substance through a lengthy process and seizure and condemnation, throughout which the claimant is deprived of its possession, cannot possibly be characterised as a proportionate one, they claim. As a result, the companies are seeking nearly 3.4 million in damages, including 3.1 million for reputational harm to the CBD flower shop and additional losses for seized hemp as well.
So realistically, just to quickly do the maths there, because I'm really good at maths, see that? That's 300,000 which they spent on the hemp, and the 3.1 million on top of that is just for reputational damages. Fucking fair play to them. I know it's excessive. It's an excessive amount here. I'm sure they won't get that much. But
and
they deserve
losses because all that hemp they could have sold, made money. done
could have
things
grown the
with it.
business.
I mean,
The business
grown
could be 10
business,
times
yeah,
the
so I
size.
mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. All this is just, it's like proportional, like sort of thing.
I bet Margaret's
So
sitting there like, God damn, what's going on in the UK?
Yeah, it's totally fucked. What's the point of having a license to legally import this shit if they're just gonna
Yeah.
seize it anyway?
It's a common thing here in the UK, though. You jump through all the hoops like they want you to
Yeah.
jump through so you can get the cannabis legally. And then if
Right.
you're found with it anyway, they take it off you. It's like, what
Right.
the fuck, man?
That's ridiculous. I don't know how much it is to get one of those licenses either. I'm sure it's not cheap, but
Yeah,
only
absolutely.
fucking-
So basically, it goes into other regulations and shit here in previous cases and stuff. But it says in the end, like the Home Office conceded its error in acknowledging the interpretation of the regulations was too restrictive and unlawful, sort of thing. So it's like, even though seizures are on the rise and things like that, so it's escalating. That this is going up and up and up and up and up, and it's just regulation needs to be sorted again because they're just being stupid.
And they need to find a way around it, don't they? Because these people are not doing anything illegal. But as they said, the border force have found cannabis, and just because it's CBD cannabis, it doesn't mean that it doesn't look like THC cannabis. Those two plants and the buds can look exactly the same, and it needs to be tested. So they take this stuff, like, we need to test it to make sure it hasn't got CBD in it, but that process takes so long, but the cannabis comes back to them spoiled. You know, it probably hasn't been stored properly, so it's too dry. You know, it hasn't been dried and cured properly and all this shit, so it ruins it. But they're just trying to go through the process of testing it. So at what point are they like, we can't have both? You even need to legalize the THC cannabis because we can't. Yeah, after the court case, like when they've been sued, because they're gonna fucking the people who have put this case against them, they're gonna win. You know, this is a fair argument. You ruined my shit. I'm doing this legally. You know what I mean? So this means the border
how much
force,
are going to be awarded. Literally.
So the border force should actually step up and be like, well, what are we supposed to do when we find potentially THC cannabis? Just let it go because you don't want to get sued again. So then they could be like, oh, well maybe we're going to have to legalize it then because we can't deal with this many court cases. We'll see. Imagine this is the straw, you know, about break the camel's back. Imagine.
Yeah, the government have to argue literally that it's not worth paying them 3.4 million, and why it's not worth their evaluation of it, and then so it's like basically like wrangling payoffs.
Yeah. What do you think, Margaret,
like,
from over there in Canada, seeing stories like this and just thinking what kind of madness is going on? You know?
Yeah, it is crazy. I mean, like we have our own problems, but that kind of shit's not one of them. So, yeah,
it is madness, man. Something needs to change soon.
Yeah, I don't know. The UK is pretty fucked. Like they have like.
Thank you, Margaret. I think only we're allowed to say that.
Well, by association, I'm saying it too. So.
Okay, okay. You're part of the Commonwealth, so I suppose you're allowed to say it in some way.
Yeah, she's allowed an opinion being part of the Commonwealth.
That's
like,
right.
She can say it in French too.
Yes,
be allowed.
Petit peu. So there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so more fuckery from the UK. Yeah, it's all that seems to be going on. We need to find some good news from the UK next week. All right, that's the mission.
Program, and then they have like these legal companies that are.
That's Macky's best joke of the week. That is.
So far, you know.
They just can't seem to get their shit together. Just fucking legalize it by now. Jesus Christ.
I know, right?
Exactly. Well said, Margaret.
Indeed. So that's all the news stories we have, right? I think we have them all there. I think that was all of them. Interesting.
Do we?
Lots of shit going on. Yeah, so we did the UK cannabis. That one we did the research.
I've done two.
Yeah, Margaret's done two. I've done one. Yeah, it's everything. It's everything. That's all the articles there.
2 and 2 equals 5. There you go.
There's not much forum news to get to. The forum's been having some issues with speed because of server issues and things like that. It happens sometimes on websites, man. It seems to be over now. It seems to be solved. So the site is working normally again, but down for a couple of days there. It was such a pain in the ass. It was taking like 30 seconds to load each page and shit. It's server issues. We had to reset the MySQL databases or something like that. I don't know. It gets all techie, you know.
30 seconds is like it takes me right back to like 1995.
Still faster than TikTok now. See,
Not
that was
for
the
me,
best
I'm
joke so
dial
far.
up.
All right.
I still have TikTok for now.
For now. Yeah, man. And quick shout out to John Colton, who's been on the panel for the last couple of weeks because he knows tech stuff and stuff to do with database and things like that and servers, and he was able to help get the site back up and running with less stress than what I usually would have had, because he knows what the fuck he's talking about. So yeah, shout out to John. Nice one, John. But other than that, I mean, that's bad forum news, because it's not bad because it's running properly now, so that's good. I told you about the edibles, which I said I was going to do last week. Did the edibles. They were good, delicious. I'm surprised how good they are, actually. It's like you really can't taste anything in them. It's just like eating normal candy, as they say.
Yeah, that's the danger. So be be vigilant.
Yeah, and a shout out to Twisted there for putting the guides up on purses as well. That enabled me to make those things. He showed us how to make the MCT oil and then how to infuse it and shit like that. And then after I'd spent 24 hours filtering it through coffee filters, he put up a guide on how to speed up that process. It was like, yeah, cheers, mate. Thanks, Twisted.
After I do it.
You know what I mean? After I've been there for ages. Yeah, some good posts up on purses.
That's fucking ironic, isn't it?
Don't you think?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Anything else to add here? No more forum news, really. Of course, getting to the plant of the month if you haven't done that yet. Anything to add on your side, Margaret, with the bite me side of things?
No, not really.
Not really. Not yet. Maybe next week.
About edibles, Bite Me Podcast, Bite Me Cannabis Club, all the things.
That's right. And Billy, yes. So it's going to be just for the patrons this time round.
Next Saturday. Yeah, next Saturday night, 9 p.m. UK time, like for the patrons. Get high on hash.
Yeah, man.
Just come and get high on hash.
Indeed.
At the little social club.
Yeah, so I think that's everything. We should take a quick smoke break and then talk about some terminology and slang, right? We're good for that now?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. I think so. We're good. Let's do it. Let's go to the smoke break.
Smoke break.
Then we can just chat some shit for 5 minutes. But not too much shit because we've got a flag and we have to be careful of those flags. Know what I'm saying? Yeah, as that pagan said, these streets don't feel safe to walk on. UK's in a bad state right now. Maybe it's just consuming the wrong kind of news or something, but I don't know, man. It just feels like we're on some crazy decline right now. Does everybody agree in chat?
It's happening all over the place.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not just like sometimes it feels like that here too. There's just a lot more homelessness and like people with problems, and it's hard to watch.
Yeah, we got the same
I
issue.
wouldn't say it's quite tyrannical dystopia, but like we're close a couple of minutes to it anyway on a doomsday clock.
Yeah,
it feels that way. Yeah. I mean, the disparity between the rich and the poor seems to be growing faster and faster and faster, and
and lots of other shit as well on top.
Yeah, and I think it's only the start of things with the way technology is changing and shit. This whole AI coming up. There's bright and cheery smoke break we're having here.
Cheery note there,
yeah. The world's going to fucking hell.
Lovely.
I mean,
smoke.
Yeah, that's right. Smoke, everybody, because that's all we've got left.
Yeah. Make some hash while you can, people. Not long left.
Yeah, man. It's like, when's the power gonna go out?
Exactly.
It's gonna, because we're seeing that in the UK right now. Apparently, there's brownouts and all this shit because
really?
They're shutting down. I don't know this. I won't rant too much about the government because you already know how I feel about these people. No matter what side that they're on, they're all corrupt, right? But this Keir Starmer guy who tries to run this country, he came out the other day and he was talking about AI is going to be the future of the UK. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And this guy, at the same time, is shutting down all of the coal power plants that I have in the UK. The way we make electricity is completely changed in the UK. Whether it's a good thing or not, with all the climate change and all that shit, that's a different discussion. But he's removing us all over to renewable energy, which is good, but it's very expensive. And there isn't enough of it. We haven't got the infrastructure to have that yet. So we're paying more money than anybody else in the whole world for our energy bills just to keep the fucking lights on. Now, AI... that ain't cheap to run. Google is talking about building 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 motherfucking nuclear power plants to power its AI.
To power the AI. It's wild because I've also learned that it uses a fuck ton of water. Well,
you know what I mean? Yeah, just some ridiculous statistic, like just to come up with a basic email for ChatGPT to write an email, it takes the equivalent energy it takes to boil a liter of water.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. And then you combine that by like how many queries or whatever you call them, prompts are done every single day now.
Every second.
Every second, yeah. And then, it's kind of fucked.
So tell me again, Keir Starmer, how you want to make the UK the head of AI when you're getting rid of all of our fucking energy. Explain to me, because I would like to know. God damn. And these people are supposed to have access to fucking experts who like have been to school and studied this kind of thing, so they know the best plan of action.
You mean big business? Because they always have the best in mind for us people.
Very true. Very true. God damn.
Isn't it ironic? Don't you think?
Yeah. So basically, you've got to choose between sending like an email or something and boiling the kettle. So a cup of tea or a dick pic.
It's like 10,000 spoons when all you need is a knife.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Yeah. Bloody hell, I
could
think
just,
well, this is the UK. Everyone's already got to the knife stage, mate. They fuck the 10,000 spoons. We're on the knife.
Very true. Don't bring 10,000 spoons to the shop we are.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
Exactly.
Jesus. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. You've got to stay hopeful, everybody. We've got to stay hopeful.
Smoke up, smoke up.
Smoke some more. What did you say,
else can
Margaret?
you do? What else can you do?
That's right.
Smoke up.
Yep.
Damn. Madness.
There you go. Smoke up
Still,
some hash.
It's a good simulation, though, right? We've had some good times.
Yeah,
right?
it's great simulation, mate. I've had some good times.
Yeah, the
back
last
in the
50 years has
90s.
been fucking sweet.
Simulation's crumbling a little bit, so on to the next one.
Yeah, you know, we need to merge with another one. The one without kale, you know? We've got to get rid of that kale.
I kind of like kale, a hearty winter vegetable. Okay.
I do suggest for Christmas next year, everyone self-buys them a nuclear emergency bunker or something of them
Yeah,
lines.
man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Tech billionaires have been
That's the
doing.
way forward, really, isn't it? That's the
They're
way
buying,
forward.
like, fancy bunkers and shit so they can live underground when the uprising happens or whatever.
Well, you know, not even when
Allegedly.
they, just do it now. Why wait until then?
Well,
No,
I
it's like-
want to be both. I want to be part of the uprising and have my own bunker.
Right.
Fuck it. Yeah.
I don't
Let
think
us
we have
know.
money for both.
So let us know what you think in chat, everybody. Do you want a bunker? Would you have a cool underground bunker, or would you rather be like where the blast happens? Would you like just be vaporized before it even kicks off, or do you want to
Well, you know,
survive
that's
in a
a good
world that's broken like that?
That's a really good question.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Wow.
because if you go out in the blast, you can find out what's next.
That's right. Next simulation.
Right.
You know,
There's something
it's-
to that.
Might be an
it'd be a quick
upgrade.
way to go.
Isn't
You
it?
know, yeah.
Yeah, and it'd be quick. You wouldn't even know what's happening.
Maybe you turn into like Dr. Manhattan or
Microsoft
something.
might not rule the fucking computer world.
That'd be wonderful.
Mm-mm.
Imagine that.
But yeah, good discussion. I always like talking about that kind of stuff, man. Damn, things are changing. Things are changing. People out there in the UK are really suffering, man. It's a shame. See people in the chat there talking about how fucking shit it is. Damn, man, it's a shame because the UK is such a beautiful country. It is, you know, England, Scotland, Wales, you know, they're all just beautiful places. man.
Cornwall.
Yeah, it's just some incredible scenery, you know, and good fucking people too. But we've just been screwed for so long by bad management. You know, 20 or 30 years of just these people who have got well, I wouldn't say no idea what they're doing, because I'm sure they have a good idea of what they're doing. It's just not working in our best interest. It's working in theirs.
Yeah, their
You know what I
interests
mean?
are very different than your interests.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're at odds with each other. You can't have both.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Stay strong, everybody.
Trying to
Keep
say it's an
smoking.
us versus them situation.
Absolutely not saying that.
really,
Sorry,
no,
YouTube.
not
He didn't
saying
mean that.
yeah.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
Allegedly
Absolutely
and
not
all
saying
of
that.
that.
at
No,
all.
not at all.
I'm saying.
Not saying that
I'm
at
saying
all.
that, but
Yeah, you can say that. No, you can't say that either, Margaret.
Yeah.
It'll flag us. Don't do
I
it.
can't. Okay.
No, we've got to be careful. We've got to be really careful for 90 days. Because if we get another flag, we're not allowed to stream for a week and shit. So we have to be
Oh,
really careful.
true.
Yeah, so don't say fuck
See,
or
that-
bugger or anything like that, you know?
Oh.
No fucking bugger.
It is what it is, man. If we get a flag, we won't be able to stream for a week, everybody. So we'd have to miss an episode. But we'll find a way around it. You can all join us on Rumble or something. It's okay. It's okay. It is what it is,
I'm
man.
curious sometimes though, like where do people congregate before social media and shit? Like it's kind of weird.
Outside.
I know, but like
In the pubs where they're banned talking in the UK now as well.
Yeah. In the
And,
pubs.
and a corruption minister resigned, didn't they? Because of alleged corruption. Fucking God.
Couldn't make it up, man. Well, you could, because that guy, that George Orwell guy, got pretty fucking close, didn't he?
He did make it up, but it's not now make-up, is it? It's become true.
That's right. It's an instruction manual.
Fucking stupid.
Yeah, Brave New World, too. That's another.
Brave New World 2.0, mate.
Yeah.
But nobody's brave.
No, exactly, yeah. Soy New World.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, some people are. I mean,
there are still people standing up, and they've gone to prison and lost lots of shit. Yeah. So,
Mad Dog said, "I love this chat. You're all nuts." It's when you say you're like that, mate, you got to put the E on the end because it's you are. You see, just make sure you know. Calling us nuts, at least know to properly use grammar.
Right,
Jesus, sorry.
You're pointing out his grammar right now.
Yeah, because you called us nuts.
You don't say it. I mean, we all know, but
gosh, we all have issues, Mad Dog, as you can see. Just point it out, all right?
Well, he's saying he loves this chat, so that means he's nuts too. So welcome.
Yeah, well, very true. Yeah, so you know, you can judge a man by the company he keeps, Mad Dog.
Right.
All right. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck grammar. Nice. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of grammar, which really just means spelling, not grammar, because grammar doesn't apply. But come and join us on Letter League sometime, everybody. We're playing this game, Letter League, over on Discord. If you're part of the Discord server, it's usually around 9 o'clock GMT, you know, the usual show time. Because that's when my day gets free, so it's easy for me to do shit this time of night. So then come and join us on the Discord sometime, and we play these awesome games. Not you, Cookie Grow, I'm not talking to you. We play these games of Scrabble. Boy, it's actually called Letter League. You know, it's like the Aldi version of Scrabble. So they changed the name a little bit, but it's pretty much the same thing. We have good fun. We have good banter. Yeah.
Yeah. Do I have another minute? I gotta do something.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Be right back.
Just let us know when you're back, and we'll sing a song or something. An old man.
I thought he was going to sing some Alanis Morissette.
I did. It's the ironic. That's how it starts. Yeah.
No, all right.
Yeah.
I wasn't really listening because it was already boring, really.
Yeah, it fucking is. Started that song as a little, but it's a good song, man. It's a good tune. You know what I'm saying?
It was back then.
Alanis. Yeah.
I'm not sure about now.
I've noticed that how songs don't really age very well sometimes.
Yeah, some are really, really bad, aren't they? Actually, but
yeah, here's really Greengrocer. Cool, Greengrocer making some tunes out there.
Boots look, he's got boots and cats. Get your boots and cats out.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Margaret had to poop. Maybe. Oh man, let me tell you something,
say
right?
That about the ladies, are you really filthy balls?
I went for a run. I went for a run the other day, right? And I trod in some dog poop. So I sat down, and I'm trying to wipe this dog poo off my shoe, and then this next guy, he runs past and he treads in it, and I'm like, bro, I just did that, and he fucking grabbed me, punched me in the face 3 times, and he's like, you sick fuck.
What are you shitting on the floor for?
Yeah. It's just a joke. Obviously, it didn't happen to everybody, but just saying. I just think that joke's funny. You know
they're all disappointed because they was probably well laughing at the thought of you getting punched in the face.
Punched in the face 3 times? That's excessive. Well, not in the UK. You know, fucking hell.
No, it's lucky he wasn't stabbed, mate, really. They knew.
The joke will change nowadays, isn't it?
He wasn't stabbed. Yeah. It must have been an holiday or something.
Good on you for going for a run. No, I don't need to run. I have a car. I'm a little too old for that. Not too old. I mean, I could go running if I wanted to, but nah. God damn. There was a joke when I went for it. I used to be quite fit, like not so long ago. I just don't want to go out in the cold.
Is the operative word there.
Yeah,
when they say like underline a word, it'd be the used to be would be that'd be underlined word there.
That's right. That's right. When you're looking through the grammar and stuff, you know.
Did you sing your songs from our favorite Canadian?
Yeah. That's right. That's right. It's not fair.
And just to answer the burning question, no, I did not have to go poop, but
gosh, ladies don't poop. Gosh.
Actually, what I did have to do was get my charger because my computer was going to die.
Oof. Yeah,
I was cutting it real close. So I'm back in action.
And just a quick shout out there before we move on. Running is actually bad for your joints, your hips, and your knees. It's better to be on a cross trainer or a bike if you want to do cardio. Swimming is the best way to do it. Just saying that.
Chewing's the best way to do it, yeah, because it holds your body weight up. It's good for your organs.
And
running also impacts your organs from the moving up and down, and also brain trauma as well.
Indeed,
so, yeah,
indeed, that's right.
Indeed, it's not that great for you.
And and usually, if you've got a nice gym, they've got a swimming pool, and next to the swimming pool, they have a sauna, so you can, get your
steam yourself off.
I fucking love it. I love sauna too much, man. It's terrible.
Get a bit hot and sweaty.
I used to go every day and like take in the Orbis oil and drip that on the fucking heat. So it's man. I'm gonna have to book a fucking trip to the sauna. It's been too long. Anyway,
how come you rubbing your thighs at having a sauna?
Man, sauna's so good.
Saunas are so good.
Yeah.
Screw the hot tub. Who wants all that germy shit?
Who
wants a hot tubby shit? Have the sauna where you
the
can
cold
sweat
dip
shit
as well.
Out, wipe it off. Cold dip? Nah, fuck that.
Yeah, cold plunge all day. If it's your own cold plunge, cool, but don't have one in the gym. Jesus. Anyway, let's go on to the Grow Guys and talk about terminology. Jesus, what a smoke break. Episode 27 of the Grow Guides, and this is one of those Grow Guides, and I left it on the screen to remind me here that we do have a good cannabis dictionary, slang, and terminology guide over at percysgrowroom.com. We're going to cover around 50 different terms in this episode here, but if you want to know more, because we have like 200 or something over on percysgrowroom.com, and it breaks down slang and terminology of so many things. There's so many things there. So go and check that out if you want to know more after this. Yeah, good guide. I'm just trying to scroll it on the screen. Here we go. Right, yes. So look, loads of stuff there. Look, loads of writing. There's a little fucking thing you can click to go whichever letter you want to go for, so it's easy to scan through it. Yeah, loads of interesting stuff on this guide here. So if you want to know more, go check that out. But we're going to talk about loads of different shit on this episode here. And I thought to myself, because I'm sitting there thinking, what should we do for the next Grow Guides? And it's difficult to kind of think. And then I thought, we haven't done terminology yet. And then I also thought, you should have really done terminology like near the start. Because we've explained all this stuff and used words people might not even know. You know what I mean?
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
So I thought this was a good time. Sooner would have been better, but better late than never, as they say, to talk about all these different terminologies and slang that can be used throughout the cannabis world. So yes, brace yourself. And if you're live with us right now and you have some terminology that we don't mention towards the end of this Grow Guides here, then do let us know in chat. So keep an eye on what we're saying and which ones we're covering. And if there's any we miss out, let us know. You know what I'm saying? So where do we begin here? We want to talk about just general terms, right? For cannabis itself. And obviously there's cannabis, there's marijuana. We all know that shit. Do you want to discuss some here, Margaret, of some different slang terms for cannabis itself? Yeah.
It's fun. I was looking at this list, and there was a couple that were new to me. So, this is a great time for this particular cannabis terminology episode. So we're starting
to keep up with the lingo for the kids,
That's right. The kids these days. Term number 1 is dank, which I'm sure most of us are familiar with, referring to the top quality cannabis that is fresh, potent, aromatic, often nice and sticky too. Then we have brickweed, which I don't think I've ever actually seen in person. But
really? Unlucky. Brickweed's good, man. I mean, it says low grade, but it's, man,
yeah.
I think it's more nostalgia than anything. If I tried it now, I'd be like, what the fuck is that? But thinking about 30 years ago when I'm smoking it.
Very excited. So the low grade cannabis that's been heavily compressed, often during transportation, leading to degraded quality. Then you have your mids, which is your medium quality cannabis that just lacks the exceptional attributes of the top shelf stuff that we all know and love. Then we have the term fire, another term for exceptionally high quality cannabis, often with a strong smell and high potency. Now this one was new to me, Zaza. I've not heard that before. Slang for premium or exotic cannabis strains, typically rare or expensive, which are two very different things, in my opinion, however. Another term that we probably are all familiar with is bud, the flower portion of the cannabis plant, which contains the majority of the cannabinoids that is smoked, vaporized, eaten, or however you enjoy your cannabis. Kush, referring to cannabis strains originating from the Hindu Kush Mountains, typically indica dominant, with earthy or piney flavors.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have cola, the main cluster of buds that grow at the top of the cannabis plant's central stem or branches, which often photograph beautifully, as we
Yes,
all.
indeed. The colas.
Yes. Then you have your nug or nugget, small dense portions of dried cannabis flower ready for consumption. They're just the little ones, the little ladies. And then finally we have, this was also new to me, larf, light airy buds that form on the lower branches where they receive less light. These are often used for edibles or concentrates. I've never heard them called larf before.
No, I never heard it. It's quite a new term, I think. I came across it a couple of years ago. But yeah, larfy buds is what we call them. It's like at the bottom of the plant where it hasn't quite grown to the colas at the top. You know, you get the colas at the top.
Kind of like underdeveloped. I think of those as like popcorn buds or something like that.
Yeah, that's essentially it. That's the larf. That's the stuff you want to try and take off before, like when flowering just starts and you're getting all the pom-poms showing up. You want to try and get rid of those lower buds, but before it starts moving like heavily into flower, because otherwise it just produces larfy buds and it's a waste of energy. You're not going to use them. So if you take them off early, they don't grow into big flowers. It can focus all the energy it needs on the big shit at the top. So yeah, larfy buds.
On those colas.
And what else do we have? What other terms can you think of here? I mean, there's obviously weed. You know, we all know that's one of the most common ones. Weed, cannabis, marijuana. The piff ganja is something. Ganja, nice. Green, obviously, for obvious reasons. Yeah, green. I see. There. Mm-hmm.
That's more.
What else? Anybody in chat got any more there? Stinky for loud weed. Yeah, there's so many terms, and it's like a dialect kind of thing as well, isn't it? Devil's lettuce. Yeah, devil's lettuce. Yeah, like depending on where you're from, jazz cabbage. Yeah, that's it. Depending on where you're from, there's going to be different terminologies, like locally to you. You know, like bingus. I've never heard that one, but it's just around Mad Dog's way. That's what they call it. You know, crazy. There's so many names for cannabis itself. I don't think I could say that one there. Green fingers might get a fucking flag. You know. Don't say it, Billy. Yeah, piff. That's what you meant. Okay, that's what you meant. Gear. Yeah, that's another one from Billy the Kid. Wacky tobacco. You know what I'm saying? I see it. Forgot about that one. Wacky tobacco. You know what I mean? Skunk.
Wacky baggy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my internet connection is unstable. Don't be fucking lagging out, you piece of shit. Uh-oh.
Don't lag out, shit face. No.
Use the force. Chiba. Nice, the sweet Chiba there from...
Some Chiba, yeah. Oh, yeah, some Chiba. Smoke the Chiba.
Yeah, I mean, we'd be here all day. There's so many different names for cannabis itself.
Mole. Get your mole out. Good mole mix.
Yeah, the pockers. Yes, fire top. You're around by my way, of course. Pockers. Yeah, man. So, yeah, like we say, we could be here all day saying all these different names. Thanks for the suggestions there in the chat, everybody. Good to have you involved. But as you become a grower, because you learn all of these terms when you're just a cannabis user, but when you become a grower, you have to kind of learn so many more words because you're talking about the different stages of the growth of the plant, which techniques people can use, the equipment you're going to use while you're growing, you know, the whole process of drying and curing, the anatomy of the plant. There's so many more terms you have to learn. So, you know, once you learn different names for cannabis, you have to also learn all of this stuff on top. So let's go into some of those. Billy, do you want to talk about growth phases? You know, what they all stand for?
Well, this is quite simple in a way because we've gone through a lot of this through the grow, like obviously the grow guide. So obviously you got your little seedling stages, like your initial growth of the cannabis plant when it first emerges from the seed. Just that nice little like white tail starts sticking out. You're thinking there's a seedling bit. It pops its head up, got its first little flowers. You're thinking, oh yeah, you want to tickle it, but you fucking don't. So you're like, yeah, that's the seedling, and then it obviously gets to your vegging stage, which is your vegetative stage, which is where plant focuses mostly on growing. Like basically, it's all its stems, leaves, and building its strength, so you can support nice, big, fat, juicy flowers ready to come. And then that brings you to the flowering stage, which is obviously where the plant flowers, buds out, triggers through the light cycle. Obviously, your photo period plants, obviously, unless you've got autos, then wham blam, thank you ma'am. Nice flowering stage is just veg flowering is auto for you, so that's the difference between that really. So you don't really have a choice as such.
Right.
So you got your because next is a pre-flower, isn't it? So like it's a transitional phase between the vegetative growth and full flowering. So like you don't really ever pre-flower unless you really know what your plant looks like. If you understand, as you get to learn like but as a new grower.
Yeah, I mean you can see these pre-flowers as well, but like before you actually flip to flower, can't you? But the plant has to be like 6-8 weeks old or something like that into veg. As they get older, you might see some
it has to be a
pre-flowers.
specific age, doesn't it, or a specific maturity anyway within the plant's growth, not an age. It's maturity of growth, and then you can see all that shit. You can tell a lot more. So, and also you got the stretch as well, which is obviously like the rapid growth between like the vegging and flowering stage. So when it's producing its flowers, it goes into a stretch just so it can push up to the sun to produce a bit more flowers and space between normally the nodes, so the plant can get more light to it. Really, basically, that's what the stretch is for, so it can grab more light to the whole plant.
Yeah, man.
And growth, really. So that's the growth stages.
The growth stages, right? Seedling, vegging, flowering, pre-flower, and stretch. Nice and easy. Is there any other ones to add?
Also the chop. Then you got the chop.
Yeah, that's
chop
a good one.
stage.
Yeah, the chop.
Yeah, fucking chop stage.
Yeah, the chop, which is where you harvest the plant. This is the harvest time.
Harvesting.
The chop.
The chop.
What do you think, Margaret? Anything to add to that section there, the growth phases?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's pretty much all of it. There's not much to it, because these it's a lengthy process. Each one of these, apart from the chop, that's done pretty quick, But let's talk about some growing techniques then, because there's loads of different growing techniques and different things you can do while the plants are growing. That you need to know what they mean as well, right? So with the most well-known one is probably LST, which means low stress training. And this is, you're not doing anything too major to the plant, you're just bending it over in places and tying it down. You're not snapping any branches, you're not breaking anything off, you're not topping or anything, which we'll come to in a little bit. So it's just low stress training, manipulating the way the plant's growing just by tying it down or holding it down in certain locations. So low stress training, nice and easy. But then there's also a HST, which is high stress training. This is when we're talking about removing bits of plants or breaking stems, that kind of thing, where it's going to be high stress on the plant when the plant has to go out of its way for a day or so to fix the problem before it can return to focusing on just growing and doing its thing. So there's things like topping the plants, which I'll just tell you what topping is now. This is where a plant grows to a certain stage and it will just grow upwards and upwards until after a few nodes, a lot of people, especially those who grow indoors, will top it, which is removing the top, and that will release a hormone inside the plant which tells the side branches to grow out a little bit more, to grow loads of side buds at a decent size rather than one main cola with loads of different side buds. I'm sure we've done an episode on topping, have we? We have, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. So yeah, it is out there. There is information on topping out there. But yeah, high stress training, don't do that on your first grow. Do the topping on your first grow, because they say it's high stress training, and it is high stress training to the plant, but not as much as you would think. In my opinion, if you're growing indoors, top that plant at least once, and you'll do fine. Scrogging is called screen of green, but we call it scrogging, and this is where you're gonna put a net or a grid above your plants, and you're gonna train the plant to make sure that it doesn't grow above that screen. So you're just pulling branches down and tucking them into the next square as it goes through this grid, and it becomes a screen of green when you spread the plants out across it, because it's just loads of green at a nice flat canopy level. There's not a really tall plant, a really short plant, or anything like that. It just it grows nice and evenly through this screen. So that's scrogging. Definitely something you should try after you've got a couple of grows under your belt. Then you've got fimming, which
it both sounds like something you could do with your girlfriend, a bit of scrogging and fimming.
It does, doesn't it?
I've never heard of fimming before.
It means fuck I missed, right? This is when you go to top.
That's definitely what you do with your girlfriend, then, isn't it?
That's what you do. But when somebody went to top their plants, they missed the top, didn't get it properly, and accidentally trimmed the 2 side shoots that are there as well. Took a little piece off them and topped them halfway. So it grows 4 side shoots instead of just 2. So they just I missed it. So it's called fimming instead. So it's similar to topping, but just it's a little bit different. I've never done it myself, not purposely at least. So I wouldn't know how to recommend doing it. I'd just say keep it simple and just top it, right? Then we have the defoliation, which is I don't know, is it a Latin term? Because you have foliation, which is the leaf, the leaves, and then you have which is like to undo or something, deflate something and shit like that. So you're defoliating means removing leaves. I mean, nice and easy. And you're just gonna at certain stages of the growth, we recommend that you just defoliate in places to get better light penetration into the canopy and things like that. But yes, defoliation, I mean, it speaks for itself, really. We told you what topping was. Then you have super cropping. And this, I've never done this on purpose anyway. I've done it accidentally a few times. But super cropping is essentially you break in the tissue inside of a branch to train it. When I said the low stress training, you're going to bend something over and tie it down. You're not breaking anything. Well, this is similar, but you are breaking something. You're going to squeeze the stem of the branch until the inside of it breaks, but the outside skin doesn't. You want to try and prevent that. And then the branch will just flop over and you tie that in position. So, and it's a little bit more stress on the plant because it needs to fix up the branch that you've just broken. But really, after 24 hours, it's fixed. And allegedly, as well, people say that because the tissues on the inside are broken, then it widens up the straws that are inside the stem, essentially. That's going to suck up all the water and nutrients, and more nutrients can get to that specific stem, so the bud will grow bigger. That's why they say. I'm skeptical of that claim because, it's still got to come through thin straws on either side of the break. So, yeah.
It just sucks harder through the thin straws, you mean?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's right. So I don't recommend that one, but it's your growth. Recommend to just experiment your own thing, don't you? But mainlining as well, which we've discussed briefly at some point. It's a specific type of defoliation in correct times with some low stress training and some high stress training, all combined together where the plant grows a particular way. This is we'll cover that in more detail because to explain the whole process is going to take us fucking 5 minutes. You're just topping at certain places, removing side branches at certain places of the plant at certain ages, and just training it out. Real tidy, smart way to grow. If you want to like have really nice looking plants, then yeah, doing some mainlining is a nice way to go. It's easier to, well, not easier, I wouldn't say that's the right term, but if you don't have a good scrogging net, then doing a mainline would be the next best thing because you can have a level canopy by manipulating the growth of the plant. But there is much more to that, What about dry trim? Dry trim is when you let the plant, you've harvested the plant, you've chopped the plant, and then you leave it to dry before you do most of the trimming. And that's a dry trimming, and it's a pain in the ass. But so is wet trimming. And wet trimming is
all pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's all a pain in the ass. Exactly. But wet trimming is just you harvest the plant and you trim it before you hang it up to dry. So they're the only two I'd add to this. You got anything to add to this one, Margaret? You think there's anything we're missing there? Growing techniques?
No, I don't think so.
There's sea of green, isn't there? SOG, because not just scrogging, there's sea of green as well, where people would grow lots of little plants, like 32 and a 4x4. 32 small plants that are just going to get like an ounce off each one, half ounce off each one. Tiny plants. So it's a sea of green, just green everywhere. There's that one.
Well, actually, now that you mention it, if there's growing techniques, you could also include, maybe this where I can't talk. Maybe this is where you would include the micro grow.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, micro grow, where you just grow 1 or 2 really small plants in a small location. Which leads into stealth growing, which is setting up a grow room that's stealth and nobody knows it's there. It can't be seen. These like in a PC tower, like we mentioned last week.
Or the
a cupboard, fridge. Yeah. Gorilla grow. Yeah, gorilla grow when you're growing outdoors. See, there's so many different things. We might get to some of these as we go further down the list and just read them all out now. But there was another one I wanted to add as well. Cuttings, man. Cuttings and clones is where pieces of a plant are taken off, a branch of a plant would be taken off, and then you're going to grow roots onto it by using certain methods. and then you have a cutting. You have a clone of a particular plant that has exactly the same genetics as the plant you cut it off. You know. Yeah. Right. That's. I mean, there's plenty more there as well. Anything we missed out there in the chat? Does anybody recognize any growing techniques that we've missed out there? I think we got them all. There's going to be a few still. Yes. Let's go on to nutrients and feeding. You want to talk about nutrients and feeding? Some anagrams we use there, and not anagrams. That's not the right word, is it?
No.
Yeah, just some words we use there. I can't think of the word here.
Yeah.
Let's just move on. Fuck. There we go.
Let's move on to terminology for nutrients and feeding. Number one being newts, which is the short term for nutrients. So if you ever hear anybody talking about newts, now you know, referring to fertilizers and additives used to feed your plants. Then we have the EC, which is you'll also hear pretty often, the electrical conductivity, a measurement of the nutrient concentration in your water or soil. And then we have the pH, which is the level of acidity or alkalinity in water or soil, critical for nutrient absorption. You have your runoff, which is your water that drains out of your pots after watering, which you can use to measure pH and electrical conductivity. And then finally, we have the flush, which is the process of feeding your plants only water without nutrients before harvest to improve the taste and quality by removing the excess salts.
Yes.
Or newts.
And there's still more to be added to that as well. I mean, there's, for one, salt-based nutrients. You know, this is nutrients that have been made in a factory using chemicals. Sometimes not using chemicals, but yeah, most of the time using chemicals. And they're just made up of salts, essentially, minerals and salts. And that's what you're going to be feeding your plant with. So that's what salt-based newts are. But you also have organic newts, which pretty much speaks for itself. This is things that have been broken down like in compost. And, you know, just natural ingredients that have been turned into something to feed to your plant, you know? Yeah, so, Billy, what do you think about this one? Nutrients and feeding. What other ones can we add to this? Top dress. What's top dressing? Where's he gone? Is he on mute again?
He's on mute again. Oh, he's off mute.
He's off mute. He's just not saying anything.
He's being all mysterious like his avatar.
That's
right. Can you hear me now?
That's
yeah,
right, we can. Yeah.
It's just the sort of like the top dressing and stuff, which is pretty much like the added organic nutrients you'd give for your living soil plants, so it can break down like a few weeks later into the soil and it gets food. Also, you got like the amendments as well. You'd have in between your plant cycle, so you'd amend your living soil. That's part of your nutrients and feeding, but yeah. And there's loads of stuff like which would be like your bokashi and shit like that.
Yeah, bokashi's another one.
Yeah, all your broken down matter, basically.
Yeah. There's so many when it comes to nutrients and feeding, man. We like to use milliliters per liter as well, everybody. But, man, in the USA, would it be like fucking how many quarts per gallon and shit?
Yeah, it's friggin'... yeah.
Yeah, complex.
Plus, there'd be a lot of international terms we won't know as well, the Spanish stuff, the Spanish words. So, yeah, this goes on forever. Like.
Yeah, man. What else would CalMag? Maybe we should put that. That's just calcium and magnesium.
CalMag. Can't forget CalMag.
You might hear CalMag a lot. That's
solves everything.
Yeah, that's some terminology you'll hear sometimes.
It solved nuclear war. CalMag.
Maybe.
CalMag.
I reckon. Yeah. In the case of nuclear war, CalMag your soil before you plant anything in it. And
yeah, make sure you need more CalMag than you need iodine. Allegedly. Fucking hell, we're gonna get flags. Fuck.
CalMag is like cowbell. You never have
the nuclear war misinformation.
Yeah.
Anyway, next up we got pests and disease, and we covered some of these pests last week, but there's a couple you should know about which are also abbreviated. Yeah, you want to talk about those there, Billy?
Yeah, this is the stuff you don't want to know, but you should know and probably have to know. And like it's like PM for like powdery mildew, which is a complete bullshit because it's like your powdery fungus, white fungus, mate, which little spots on the leaves and your buds, and you're like, no, and that can be a get. You can sort of get rid of it if you're really lucky, but like you have to be really lucky. Gnats because your fungus gnats, and that's just generally little black little larvae insects that fly about and be completely little pesty bastards.
Yep.
Like bud rot, obviously, which is basically the term for all your mould and when your buds are rotting, where that develops inside nice big fat colas and the dense buds.
We have an episode all about that as well.
Completely aerated and that would be. And you got your hermaphrodite cannabis plant that produces both male and female flowers, or just completely seeds your plant out. So bit wanky and shit. So there's lots of pests and diseases out there to be, and this again could go on for ages, like with all the fucking little mites. Be a long list of mites, which you like, especially all the scientific terms.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's but. Generally, Hermes
or something. Yeah, something.
Yeah, but they'd just be referred to as pests, really, wouldn't they?
They're the friendly ones that will eat the bad bugs. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean, you've got good and bad pests, so it's a case of like finding out what specific ones they are. But they're all a bit pesty. They're a pest to something. They're either a pest to your plant or to the pest that are pest to your plant. So
yeah, so. And also, what's that? Tobacco mosaic virus. That's one which you might see pop up there sometimes.
Oh, right, yeah. Some of that new shit.
It's a lot rarer than you think. Tobacco mosaic virus, TMV.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it just makes the plant weak and can change the colors of it in particular places. It's rare, but it's something that people have to be very cautious of. What else? Neem oil. We discussed that briefly last week on the bug show as well. That's just the kind of pesticide that can be used. Maybe. I don't know. Just I don't like using it, man. You know, I've used it a few times, but
boo to neem oil.
Yeah, only use it if you really have to. For pests and disease, when you cover the bud right there with the PM. What else? Anything else to add to that one?
Not really. I can think, unless you want to go into a big list of pests and
you know that it goes on fucking ages. So many of these as well. You know, it's just breaking down what people might see when they're reading books or looking online and shit, so they can understand some of these terminologies.
Yeah.
Then we look at this post-harvest one when the plant has been harvested, which we mentioned earlier on. You know, this is when the plant's been chopped. There's trichomes. You might have heard this term before. This is the little tiny crystal mushroom-shaped things that are on the buds. This is the frost, the stickiness. And this is where the cannabinoids grow and where the terpenes grow as well inside these trichomes. So
where the magic happens.
That's right. Yeah, a mushroom-shaped little bit of magic. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and the glands, like the little balls at the top of the stalks on the trichomes, that's where, you know, most of the goodness is going to be, and this is what hash can be made out of and shit. It is that ball at the top. So if you are growing right now and you have plants in flower, you know, then take a closer look at the buds using a magnifying glass, or you know, a jeweler's loupe is best to do. And them things you see in them close-ups, that crystal, them mushroom-shaped little crystal things on the buds and some of the leaves, that's what the trichomes are.
Yeah, I'm smoking trichomes right now.
That's it. Yeah, that's where the good shit is, though, isn't it? This is where the good flavor comes from. This is where the THC and the CBD comes from, you know, the medicinal properties and shit. So, yeah, that's what the trichomes are, just in case you didn't know. But I assume most people know what that is by now. Trim. We're talking about trim. This is obviously stuff you've trimmed off your plant. And this can be dried or frozen. And then you can use your trim to make edibles or extracts or concentrates. You know, by getting the THC crystals off them, or the trichomes off them, and yeah, just getting a little bit more out of your harvest. So that's what trim is.
Careful, after trimming your lady's bush, your fingers might get a bit sticky.
Jesus. Checking that out. Fuck. Then we have curing, which we have done an episode on that as well. This is where you're slowly drying the cannabis to bring the moisture out slowly, to bring out more flavor, improve the potency a little bit as well as it dries out. So yes, that's curing. We discussed a whole episode of that. Popcorn buds. This is the small buds at the bottom of the plants that you don't want to trim after you've trimmed for fucking 10 hours and you've got all these tiny little buds. You're like,
so you turn to hash.
Yeah, that's right. And that's also the laughy buds, which we discussed earlier as well. The popcorn buds are the laugh. Yeah, chop them off, stick them in a bucket, and just fucking make some hash out of those or something. And of course, sticky. We know what sticky means. No, this is where the buds are sticky because of the THC.
You're sticky icky.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's post harvest. That's when you've chopped the plant down and just is there anything else there? I don't think. I mean, dry sift is one maybe. I mean,
yeah, I suppose you'd have you dry sift concentrates, hash, and stuff. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but, and and hash as well. What is hash? We discussed that in the concentrates episode as well.
Hash is trichomes.
Pretty much as Bal said when she was on the interview. It's like harvesting apples from a tree.
Yeah. Basically, and trichomes is depending on what level of sifting you want to do or sorting you want to do, if you know what I mean, what grade, and that sorts your trichomes from the men and from the boys, basically.
Yeah, man. So then we got some I don't know, measurements and potency. Margaret, you want to talk about these ones?
Yeah, the first one you might run into is the ppm, which is parts per million, used to measure nutrient levels in the water. Then we have one that I was not super familiar with, though it makes sense, which is your GPW, your grams per watt.
It's not used as much anymore because it used to be, when people were using the 600 watt HPS, and that's what everybody used. Then people would discuss gram per watt because everybody's using the same kind of light. But now everybody's on LEDs. I don't think gram per watt gets used as much anymore.
No, I don't.
I think also because a lot of people were growing to sell, and now there's a lot more people who are growing just for home use, if you know what I mean. So that's almost gone out.
Would they use this term maybe still in the industry when they're trying to figure out?
Yeah, some would for that industry, industrial. So when you sell into like the pharmaceutical companies and all of that, that's how you'd be advertising.
Well, they used to do it on the seed banks as well, didn't they? When they'd advertise 600 grams per watt. Or I think they do it per square meter now. Rather than
I think it's by space rather than watt now. Yeah, because of different lighting, so you can't guarantee what people have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Next we have THC, which is tetrahydrocannabinol. Oh fuck. You know what I mean?
Cannabidiol.
We're not the one.
Yes.
Cannabinol.
I have a hard time saying.
Cannabinol.
Yeah, tetrahydrocannabinol. You know what I mean? Anyway.
Cannabinol.
The primary psychoactive compound found in cannabis. Then we also have our CBD, which is cannabidiol.
That's the one.
A non-psychoactive compound. Actually, I'm going to rephrase that a little bit. It is a non-intoxicating compound known for its therapeutic benefits. It is
I always wonder why they say that, because it is psychoactive in some way, just not like THC is.
It's just not intoxicating. It still changes your endocannabinoid system, and people get benefit from it. If you have anxiety and you take CBD to lower your anxiety, that's a psychoactive effect, but it doesn't get you high. So it is psychoactive, but it's not intoxicating. So that is what I think about that. And then we have terps, which is short for terpenes, your aromatic compounds responsible for the flavors and smells of Our Lady cannabis.
Indeed. And they're becoming more and more well-known and more important as well from the whole growing process. People love to see good terps, you know?
Yeah, it's all about the terps.
Yeah, man. Right, equipment. Grow tent. Fucking Billy, you want to talk about equipment there, man?
Yeah, I suppose you could. You've got your grow tent in it, which is basically your tent which you're growing, which is your grow tent. Which is quite simple.
Yeah, pretty simple.
You've got your HID, which is like your high intensity discharge, which is a light, basically, which used to be commonly used for growing, but is probably like of a dying ebb now, really, because everyone's going fucking LED, isn't it? Really, pretty much. So HID is almost going to be like a dying. People will be using that for lights outside again now, right? You got PPFD.
LED now, which is light emitting diodes. Everybody. So when people say LED lights, it's like, should it really be lights at the end? It's like ATM machine, that machine used twice,
It's
lights
a diode. Yeah. So you got PPFD, which is a photosynthetic photon flux density. And as some people like Chad say, that's got nothing to do with Back to the Future, but it sounds like it fucking should be. So, and that's basically just measuring light intensity of your plant space and your lights and the distance and all of that calculates your carbon footprint as well. Can be included in that sort of thing in your PPFD. They can work all that type of shit out as well. So you've got your carbon filters and things, which is basically your device to remove all your carb. Everyone would call that, wouldn't they? So, you just your filter. It's mostly just your filter box and shit.
Your extractor, where that's the fan that's gonna pull air out of the grow room.
You got your internal fans, so you've got like your rotational fans sort of thing. Also like your fixed fans, LED your USB ones, which are a bit shit really. I think the USB ones are shit. You want a mains plug fan, nice sturdy one that's gonna work properly.
You got a timer as well,
the floor as well, so they don't fall. Timers as well, yeah. Heavy duty stuff as well. You want to look for heavy duty timers and heavy duty equipment, really. The more wattage it's pulling, the more heavy duty it wants to be.
Yeah.
Sort of thing, like your plugs and shit. So all your extension leads need to be have your own separate switches on and all that, so it cuts itself off.
Yeah, man. And there's so many more as well when it comes to fucking equipment. Being a brand new grower, it's difficult to try and put yourself back in that mindset. When you've been growing for so long, it's like all these terms just seem normal to us. But with somebody who hasn't grown before and just figuring shit out for the first time, a lot of these terms they wouldn't know of. They wouldn't know HID, PPFD, and all of this kind of shit. It's crazy. What do you think, Margaret? Because you're reasonably new coming back to it. Are you finding any specific terminology difficult to get grasp of?
No, not really.
It's all pretty simple.
Equipment's quite straightforward because a fan's just a fan. If you don't know what a fan is, then
Sometimes I sure wish I bought the remote control to go with my fan, though, which I did not. That's a real pain.
It's a real pain in the ass to get to.
I should have spent the extra $15, but I didn't. So, that's just my comment about that. So,
yeah, man, there's a little gripe there. You go.
I mean, because you have
rant.
Yeah, just a little Margaret rant there about she got the fucking remote. But I was also thinking hydro. If people don't know what hydro is, that's hydroponic ways of growing cannabis. DWC, which is deep water culture.
DWC. There's loads of little terms out there.
That's it. It just all goes off into loads of different tangents. Break it all down,
Tangents, yeah.
So, the DWC, deep water culture. Plants are grown in deep water. Then you got an NFT, which is nutrient film technique, where it's like the plants are grown in just a thin layer of water that flushes away and comes back. I think that's what it is, because that's kind of ebb and flow as well, which is the water fills up around the roots, then gets flushed away, and then fills up again like a tank, refilling and emptying over and over again. So that's a NFT. There's so many different ways to grow cannabis, so many different terminologies when it comes to that as well. You just kind of figure it out as you go along. There should be a Duolingo course on cannabis knowledge,
So it's like we live in a land of abbreviations now. Everything's got a shortened version in it. Everything's PPFD'd.
Yeah, ballast is another one. This is the thing that's going to be put on
ballast,
especially HID lights will be using a ballast to try and, I don't know exactly what they do, but it's to make sure that the electricity coming through the socket can be used properly in the light without blowing it or something. But there's LED lights.
On your boat, so it doesn't.
Also that, but not the same thing, just a different thing named the same. Yeah, and then you have a driver. It's called it's a driver, isn't it, with LED lights? So it's like a ballast, but it works.
It's not the same thing as a chauffeur either. Two different things.
That's right. Thanks for breaking this down for us, Billy. We appreciate that.
No problem.
Yeah, VPD, vapor pressure deficit, is where pretty much the environment that the plant is living in, how humid it is, what the temperature's like, how easy it is for liquid to evaporate from the leaves, because that's essentially the plant breathing. There's so much to this. There's so much. Fun and unique terms. Couch lock. Just in case anybody doesn't know what couch lock is, that's when you've smoked a shitload of mainly indica dominant cannabis there. It depends who you ask, really, when it comes to couch lock. Everything's a hybrid nowadays. But when you smoke loads of weed, you're really sleepy. You don't want to get up off the couch. That's couch lock. Yeah. Who would have guessed it? Well named, that is. Descriptive title or something. You also have 420. I don't know. It's just a weed thing.
420. He said he's got to light up now. He said 420.
Yeah, might as well. Might as well. You know, smoke something. Smoke something. It's 420.
420 somewhere.
That's right. So yeah, that's just some festival that stoners have adopted. It means something somewhere, but there's a lot of lore behind that. You know, LORE law, not law. So I don't think anybody really knows where it came from. It's just, you know, it might as well tag that day and call it the stoner Christmas or something, right? 420.
That's what it's become.
It's good though. You know, it's something where people can celebrate. But I'm not too much of a conformist, so it's not like I'm like, oh, I can't wait for 420.
Yeah.
But you know, whatever floats your boat.
I'm a little commercial like everything else, right?
And then we got chopping, which was mentioned earlier on as well, which is when you're harvesting the plant. We got trim jail. You know, trim jail. People know whatever.
Oh, trim jail.
Enjoy your trim jail, and this is pretty much where you don't have an option. You've harvested plants, and they need trimming, whether it's wet trim or dry trim. You're gonna have to sit there for a few hours at some point and trim these fucking things.
No, sorry. This is where you trim all your nice buds and fuck the rest off into a bag and save it for hash.
That's right, save it for hash and things like that.
Less trimming, more hash. Fucking winner, isn't it?
And we got dry sift here, which is a way of making hash mainly, but you know, it's cannabis concentrate by sifting.
Smokey said hash.
Yeah, smoke, hash. I said hash, smoke. Yeah, so when you're making hash, smoke again. You know. But this filters out all the trichomes, like we mentioned earlier. You know, you're just getting all the active ingredient, essentially, the cannabinoids and the terpenes from the trichomes, and not smoking any of the flower, the buds. Yeah, then that's what dry sift does. What are we missing, everybody? Let us know in the chat here. What are you all thinking? Bubble hash? Yeah, this is hash made with water and ice rather than just
water and ice
sifting.
hash. Or what is it?
What do you think, Margaret? If we're missing it here?
Oh, probably.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm trying to think of something fun and unique that we haven't talked about yet. And
skin up, mate.
Skin up. That's right. Yeah, that's something we use here in the UK to roll a joint. Skin up.
Yeah. I'll term that. Old school fellas out there who love that one.
Hot knives. Yeah, I remember the hot knives where people would use hot knives to put some hash in between it, and that would, you know, vaporize the hash essentially, so you're breathing all that goodness off the hot knives there. Yeah.
Some piatella, some posh hash, basically.
Indica and sativa, you know, some you know, certain types of cannabis they are. The indica grows in like the mountains in India and shit. And then the sativa is more Southeast Asia direction. And they say they have kind of different highs sometimes. You know, like the indica will be the couch lock kind of high, but the sativa would be more of an energetic, euphoric kind of high. But there's a lot of controversy behind that. And most of the cannabis that you're going to buy nowadays, either from a dispensary or if you're getting seeds from a seed bank, it's going to be hybrid in some way, which is a mix of those two, part indica, part sativa. And that produces a particular kind of plant. Autos is another one. That's a plant that will flip to flower on its own automatically when it reaches a certain age, rather than having to change the light cycle like you do with photoperiod plants.
Bong,
of course, we all know what
bucket
is.
bong.
We all know what bong is. Yeah,
fucking bucket bong, mate.
Bucket bong, a very big bong. Let's call it that.
We just call those buckets. That was
yeah. What a fucking bucket, mate.
A blowback. Remember blowback?
Blowback, yeah.
Where you put a joint backwards so the burning side is inside your mouth, and then you blow it so smoke comes out of the roach, which is the end of the joint, just in case anybody doesn't know, and then somebody inhales that smoke coming out of the joint there.
Yeah, we used to call those supers. Okay. I don't know why.
But, yeah. Blowback, we call it. Very simple.
Double blowy is always good.
Jesus. Fuck. What else is I mean, there's so many, isn't there? But that's it for now, I think. I think there's not really many more we can cover there. If you want to know more, this was like 50, 60 different ones, and you know, that's quite a few to cover, but there's still even more over on the guide at percysgrowroom.com. So if you are brand new to growing and you want to get a heads up on most of these things that are over on all these terminologies and slangs that you're going to come across while you're learning how to grow, then just have a quick flick through that guide. And if you do come across something that you don't know, You know, like you come across some random word and be like, what the fuck is
just
that?
ask a question.
Like Ben is. You know, if you don't know what Ben is, you're like, what the fuck is Ben is? That's beneficial bacteria that can be added to your grow medium. You know, you've come across that one before and not knew what a Benny is. Yeah, so you know, sometimes you're just gonna come across stuff. And if you have questions, if you don't see it over on the guide, then you just ask, man. There's no stupid question over at Percy's Grow Room. You can just ask what you want. People will give you an answer. There's no sarcasm. There's no taking the piss or anything like that. You know, unless you're an established member, and then there will be sarcasm and shit, because you know it's banter for us. Then, you know, you know the joke level by then.
Yeah,
you know, you know what I mean.
You get a proper answer and some banter.
Yeah. Sometimes, but it's never done in a dickish way.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's all friendly banter.
Yeah, so don't be shy to ask any questions if you have them, everybody. But that's some of the terminology we have. And of course, we have missed some. If there is some that we've missed and you want to add them, just drop them in the comments down there. That would be super cool, man. Extend the list even further so anybody reading...
You're going to have, lots of local slang we won't know.
If you head over to Wikipedia, they have a list of slang terms for cannabis, and there's more than 1,200 on this list.
Jesus.
A lot of them
Oh, yeah. Well, let's just go through that then, yeah?
Let's have a quick read of that then. Let's have...
Come on, Margaret, you can do the first 420.
Yeah.
First 420.
You got to avoid Wikipedia as much as possible, you know? So that's it, really. Yeah, I don't like Wikipedia. It can be inaccurate.
Yeah, it has limitations. So for something like looking at weed slang terms...
Sounds more like wicked pedo to me, but...
Jeez. You have issues, Billy. You know that? Let's go on to listener mail. Let's do it. We have a few good questions from Oso, and thanks for the question here, Oso. We appreciate you getting involved, man. Very cool. Assuming no leaks or damage to the lid, if the metal tab on the tops of your mason/kilner jars pop open during curing or long-term storage, but the humidity level inside the jar itself is at optimal level, do you let the air out? Yeah, I would let the air out anyway. You know, sorry, you didn't finish it. So I usually push the tab back in, and if it happens again within a few minutes, I'll air it out. It shouldn't happen. I mean, you shouldn't see that going on. Once it's closed, it should stay closed. If it's popping back open, I don't know, maybe it's wrong size seal or something like that. I'll be getting different jars.
Does that indicate there's some kind of leak or something? Maybe.
I don't know. What's he?
Yeah, just maybe an old lid not fitted properly or something. Yeah. Change your jar maybe, but it won't make a difference either way. You just have to keep putting it back on, and it just dry out. Again. Yeah, just don't worry. That's the only
if you need to, just fucking
got,
put some tape on it or something.
Spaz out. Yeah.
Force that fucker closed.
Yeah. Give it a harsh look, and I point at it. Go, it. See if that works.
But yeah, I would still let fresh air in, but you want to keep it sealed properly, you know. Yeah, that's the whole idea of curing, because you want that moisture to come out from the center of the buds, and it will only do that when it's in certain conditions, you know. So I don't know. I would definitely reclose it. That's what he's asking, right? I'm getting the question correct here. So if it pops open,
but yeah, keep it closed as long and only you let the air out when you want to let the air out. But yeah, generally,
you don't want to let the bud just lay out on the tray, for example.
Yeah,
you know. So yeah, keep the jars closed. If it pops open, close it again, unless you're specifically burping the jar while you're curing it. Yeah, makes sense, right? Anything to add to that one, Margaret? You got anything on that one?
No, I don't think so. There's air in it, let it out.
So we have from Skinny P here. What is the process to breed autoflower seeds? Example, I have a keeper photo period that I think will pair very well with one of the Mephisto strains. If I were to breed the two, what do I have to do in order to get 100% auto-flowering seeds? And how long does that generally take? Damn, bro, that's a difficult question. We just podcasters, man. What the fuck?
I'm going to forum and ask that sort of shit. Shit.
You know what I mean? Gosh. But we discussed this briefly when Mephisto was on the show in one of the interviews we had with them. Like, you know, if somebody wanted to go make auto-flowering seeds, would they have to go off and get the ruderalis and start working with that? And to try and isolate the autoflowering gene. They were like, oh no, the best way to do it would be just to get an autoflower, do some breeding, and then you have to pop more and more seeds. And any time, because some of them are going to be auto and some of them are going to be photo period. So then I think you just have to self them with each other after that. You know, and it just takes 3 or 4 generations, maybe even 5 or 6. You know, the more you can do to stabilize the genetics to make sure you're only pulling out the autoflowering gene from specific plants, then you know it's going to take a while to do it, and it's a long process.
It's a long process, yeah.
It's better to just do it with autos, you know, and it just takes time, mate. If breeding is something you want to get into, it's a long process kind of thing. Is some of these projects take years at a time, so consider that. I maybe selfing the autos themselves, or I don't know, because you want to specifically get this photo period and turn that into an auto. So that there's only one way to do that, really, as far as I know. Anyway, I'm not a breeder or anything, but as far as I know, it's just going to be that long process.
Listen to the episode; they give more information on that. Really.
Yeah, man. It's an interesting one. It's a good question, and I hope you do it. You know, it's going to take you some research, but if it's something you want to do, then definitely do it, man. It's
because in a couple of years, if you're growing for the next 20 years, and in 2 years' time, you have 18 years worth of autos, which you like. So it's worth the time to then have the longer time. So yeah, invest the time if you got it.
That's right, man. Especially if you want to, isn't it? It's all part of a hobby. This whole grow
relative, isn't it?
You know?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Right. So then we got one from Oxford. Sorry, is there anything else to add to that one? Anything got?
No, I think we added it all.
Yeah, cool. But do check out that Mephisto episode because they do go into some.
Unless we ask AI.
Well, that's the next question from Oxford. According to AI, there are at least 26 variations of Sweet Baby Ray sauces. Please rank your top 3 variations in order. I don't fucking know, bro. I haven't tried all 26 variations.
We need a whole 26 and then to eat them all first.
That's right.
Bloody hell.
If anybody wants to send a box, let me know.
Yeah, send a box of 26 to all 3 of us, and then we'll give you an opinion on that.
But
Cheers,
from
Oxbud.
what I've tried, that fucking Sweet Baby Ray's honey sauce, the honey barbecue.
Oh, that does sound nice. That's my favourite because it's honey barbecue, and I always like honey barbecue. So, yeah, there you go.
Barbecue?
There's the winner.
There's what? Sorry, Margaret?
Winner, honey barbecue for dinner.
So, what barbecue?
Pickle.
Maple.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, that's being biased, though,
Maybe.
isn't it? That's a bit biased, that is.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's a biased opinion. Even though that's your opinion, I'm just saying you have a biased opinion because
it's no more biased than your own.
Like Canadian.
That's right. That's right. You tell him, Margaret. You tell him.
Yeah. So you're allowed to be patriotic in your country. We're not allowed to do it here. We get arrested for that.
Sweet chili is a killer, says Sir Hunt a lot. That's it. I've only tried a couple of times.
Sweet chili is quite good actually. In the old Subways, their sweet chili is quite good, so I can imagine Baby Ray's being proper.
Baby Ray's is the shit, man. Damn, I don't care what flavour it is. I'll try them all. Let me know.
I might have to try some Baby Ray's then.
Have you not tried it at all?
No.
I don't think I have.
Maybe. Maybe you tried it in sort of Nando's or something. They've had it somewhere like that, maybe. But no, not what I know of.
Delicious. Everybody needs to try it. Anyway,
I bought some.
We've got one last question here. From Turpo. He says, what is the singularity? How will it affect you as an individual? Do you think it is possible for us as humans to comprehend the true depths of our reality and existence? No, I don't think we will, Turpo. That's that one done. But what is the singularity? This is when technology...
Isn't that the centre of black the holes?
Yeah, there's a couple of different terminologies for it. But singularity is the centre of the black hole where light can't escape. But I think he's referring to the technological singularity where AI essentially becomes as intelligent as humans are and is able to make intelligence that's more intelligent than itself. So it exponentially gets smarter.
I did also look up the definition of technological singularity because I was just curious. And it does say that it's a hypothetical future point in time at which technological growth becomes uncontrollable and irreversible, resulting in an unforeseeable consequences for human civilization.
Yeah, we're in that now.
Sounds fun.
Well, fun. Next 25 years is going to be brilliant.
Well, that's it. I don't think we're in it yet, but we might be. We don't know what kind of technology they have that they don't tell us about. And you know, and if we are in a simulation like we could possibly be, singularity has already happened.
Well, the AI is definitely more intelligent than David Lammy already, and bloody hell, he's in our government, so so anything can happen, really. That's what I'm saying.
Indeed. But it's an interesting question. So reading that from Wikipedia, where'd you get it from? Wikipedia or something, Margaret?
Yeah, it was just a Wikipedia thing when I Googled it.
So what's your what do you think then about this question? How will it affect you as an individual?
How can you know how it'll affect you as an individual?
I'll probably grow and want me more weed and make more hash. That's how it's going to affect me, I think. Just so when it all goes off completely mental, I've got more weed and hash there.
Yeah, time travelers, nice scene. Definitely.
Yep. Time travelers would have come already, and we would know because they'd be introducing shit. Everyone.
No, because they go to different world lines. They can't come to this one. You can't alter the past. That's already done. It'd be a completely different world line.
So they'd be going a different world line.
This
I get what you mean.
I have not read the article, but this one headline from Popular Mechanics says humanity may reach singularity within just 6 years, trend shows. So this may be something we need to be prepared for. People
we could possibly already be there. They just don't tell us.
6 years to grow that amount of weed is not a long time. That's not many strains I'd get making. Because you've got smoke in between, remember, as well. So you've got to have the consumption on top of that. So you've got to double your rate, I'd say.
That's a whole lot of weed to grow, bro. That's a whole lot of weed.
That's my advice. That's how it affects me. I'm going to double my floor space, I think.
Yeah, so there's a lot of interesting things going on with science right now, with the whole AI, AGI, these quantum chips that have come out with. There's lots of interesting things. Maybe the singularity is already here.
Is out there.
You never know. You never know. If he isn't yet, he will be at some point. Yeah.
Be a fire-breathing dog.
That's definitely a possibility as well. I think they already have those.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. They already fucking have them, mate. They're there.
I mean,
they're there to come for you, mate. They're just the Chinese are have a fire-breathing drone dog. See the dragons. You've seen like shapes they've been making. There 10,000 drones. Yeah, that'd be 100,000 fire-breathing dog drones coming to burn you down. Going. Woof,
let us know what you think, everybody. What kind of a singularity do you think there will be? Do you think we'll have the flying drone dragon dogs? Fat Billy has suggested here. Yeah, more Mandela effects. Yes, I see it. You know what I'm saying? Interesting. Good question there, Turbo. But I think that's everything, right?
Singularity is the finger everyone should give their government.
Sounds like a good one as well. Nice.
Yeah, that's what I reckon.
Yeah, I think that's everything. That's all the listener mail questions. And again, if you want to know any more, terminology and slang and things like that, and anything that we missed out there, then head over to Percy'sGrowroom.com. We got a good guide over there. It must be a couple of 100 different things, and it goes into loads of details about different types of hydro, different types of grow mediums, loads of stuff over there. So check that out if you want to know more about that. And of course, if there's something on there that you think should be on there but we don't have, then let us know in the forum as well. Just drop a comment on a post and let us know. Nice. But that's everything. Anything to add?
No, we covered a lot today.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff covered there. I hope it helps those new guys. A lot of terminology covered. Let's go to the outro. Let's go. Fading professionally. Nice. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Don't forget to hit the like button. Let's look at this poll now before we wrap things up. I'll end the poll.
Get your poll out.
And yes, 50% of people, it's only gone down to 49, say, I don't care, I don't use it. So a lot of people just don't use TikTok in the first place. 26% think that the ban on TikTok is good because it's a threat from the Chinese, assumedly. And then banning TikTok is a bad move, is 17%. I think I'm kind of on that stage because, I agree with the 17%. Because I think it's a bad move because I don't trust these people to be in charge of like the freedom of speech and regulation of speech, because they'll just use it to their advantage whenever really. Exactly. Yeah. This is it's a precedent they're setting. We can ban all sorts of things now. Yep. We did it for TikTok, so we can do.
It's a national security risk.
And then I'm not sure it's complicated. 6%. Respect to those guys who are happy to say that they're not sure. There's
Thanks for voting. 103 votes. Cheers, guys.
Yes, man. Nice. And I need to do a coin flip here. I forgot about that. We've got the the coin flip for the respected users. Let me get this done here. Just quick time.
Get the flip out.
Get the quick time there. Is that correct? There we go. Coin flip simulator. Say threat.
This is the professional moment.
This is the site can't be reached. You got blocked by my fucking firewall. What's that about? Dodgy. It's gonna have to go to random.org instead.
Oh no.
Flip just one. Flip coin. Oh, select coin type.
Flipped you out.
Okay, gives me a euro.
A euro?
Yeah, I don't know. How do I get this on the screen? Jesus.
We're all in Amsterdam spending a euro. That'd do.
This is a euro, everybody. So I'm going to get it on the screen here. Just a second there, Turpo. Just a second. Get this. That's
get your euro weed out.
There we go. Done. Yeah, does this look on screen? There we go. Look at that. Yeah, it's in the right place as well. Okay, so let's do it. Let's do the coin. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Flip.
Flippage.
It's that side. What side is that on the fucking euro? Why did you pick the euro?
Oh no.
Is that heads or tails?
Oh no.
Ah.
That's tails, isn't it?
You flip one coin, times. It doesn't even say. I don't even know. What the fuck? We've done this before. Yeah, we did this before. Yeah, ask Google. Which side is the harp on the euro, heads or tails? People should know, right?
What was the question? Sorry.
Well, what is the? Because on the euro coin, it landed on the harp side, but I'm not sure whether that's the head side or the tail side.
Yeah,
because there's not a head on either side, is there? Like it's easy to with an American coin or a UK coin. Sorry.
Use a toonie or a loonie.
What's that?
That's Canadian currency. Those are coins.
But I've already flipped now. I've already flipped.
Oh, have you? Oh.
Yeah, and it was on the screen, so we need
I saw it. There seemed to be some consternation as to the results.
Google doesn't even know. He said not a head, obviously, and he's like, yeah, no, it's like there's not a head on that side, but there's not a head on either side of the euro, of this specific coin.
Well, see, we'll flip it again and see what's on the other side if it comes up, so you know.
All right, but this side was harp side, everybody. This side was harp side. Let's have a look. That does look like heads, because the other side does look like tails. It has the monetary value on it. I'll show you again. I'll put it on the screen, everybody. So if you can see there, you see this has got like €1. That looks like a tail side to me. So it looks like the other side with the harp on it.
Yeah, the other side is that the head represents the head of state.
Okay.
Right.
Maybe.
Well, makes sense.
If there's a number on it, it's the heads. No, there's a number on the tail side of coins, isn't it? In the UK, at least.
I don't fucking
know. That's just wrong. Google don't know. You know, it's one of those. This is why we didn't use this one before. God damn. But yeah, I think it's heads.
Okay. If we all have consensus, then let's go with that. I think it's heads too.
Yeah. When was the last time you saw a tail on a coin either? Yeah, I don't know. But you know, it's the side that doesn't have the head on it is usually the tails, but there's no head on this coin. But I'd say the monetary value on it. Let me check on a UK coin here. Yes, there's a head that side, monetary value on the back. Yeah, there we go. It's heads, everybody. I'm declaring it. Okay. It's heads.
The Celtic harp is on all of them, that'd be the head.
Okay.
And the other side would be the different side of the. Yeah.
So there we go. Good show. Yeah, some of you guys in Ireland, you should know this, right? You got some Irish guys out there. Yeah, so yes. Very good, everybody. Is heads. Yes, heads it is, says Turpo. I agree with Turpo, and he's running the comp, so yes.
It is a head.
Yes. Yeah, good times. Don't forget to enter Plant of the Month if you haven't done that, but I think that's everything then, right? We good to go? We're good to go.
Yeah.
Anything to add? Feels like feels like we're missing something.
Yeah. Some more cannabis. Smoke, everyone.
Smoke, everybody. Smoke.
That's what we're missing.
Have a good week. Stay high, stay safe. Join us for the interviews if you're Patreon. I think we've got 2 this week. Yes. But good times. Don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe. All of that YouTube stuff that we should say, because we're on YouTube. And hashtag fuck the government. Yes. supposed to add that on the end there. Might as well go for a flag. Goodbye, everybody. Stay high, stay safe. Bye-bye.
Cheers, waving and all that shit. Yeah, we are waving, definitely.